Good morning. What's up, everybody? Welcome, welcome. Actually started early, a little bit early today. Um, and we're gonna give it time for people to come at the regular time for sure. But good morning. What's up? Welcome, welcome, man. Rise and shine. Let's see. Audio. Okay, audio's good. What's up, Pamela? BU, the neighborhood. D Smiles, Martin, Bristol, Rachie. Hey, Iva, Nancy, Karen, Chile, Sam Panther. What's up? What's up, man? Good morning. It's Friday. We're finally here to the end of this isht. Made it. I don't know why I forgot. I just had in my head that there was going to be sentencing, but there is going to be the opportunity for victim impact statements. And I was wondering who would speak, if any, who's going to speak, and is Alec going to speak? Is he going to be able to have one final word? Because I remember that one story I covered recently with the lady that shot her son with a shotgun 9 times. I don't know if you heard of that story. In the back of the car, the kid was in the car seat. She turns around and she had to, I think, reload every time. Shot this kid 9 times, and so she got sentenced. And the judge was like, you have any words, anything you want to say? And she said, "F all y'all, I'm innocent." I was like, dang. So yeah, I don't know. Who knows what's gonna happen today? I wonder if Buster's gonna speak. Do you think Buster's gonna speak? Amber said Buster. Annalise, Buster. Good morning, guys. I hope you're doing good. Hope everybody slept good. I did a little jump rope this morning just to get some sun. I took a cold shower, which felt really refreshing. So we're here, man. And there's a lot of people like upset. Well, some people are happy, some people are upset, some people disagree with the verdict, some people are like really angry and stuff. I mean, I don't know. It kind of is what it is, I guess, And so Daisy sent me this. I was gonna wait a little. Maybe I should wait a couple minutes before we get into this. But something I want to show you guys too before they actually start the sentencing. Supposedly, somebody spoke to a juror. Murdaugh juror says cell phone video sealed disgraced attorney's fate. And so I'm assuming they're talking about the kennel video, which I think that was one of the biggest pieces they had, plus some of the timelines with the phone. And and I forgot too, we could take another look too at this. OJ Simpson made another short video on Twitter. OJ, the expert. Oh, he would know best. He's totally qualified. But there's some people that don't think he did it either, though. I guess like with all these stories, you have people on different sides of the spectrum. OJ, I told y'all, he's going down. Murdaugh goes down.
And we were talking about this Murdaugh case, and I said, well, I don't know.
Good morning.
I think
Hey,
the guy might
Allison.
be able to get some reasonable doubt there. But I said, if the verdict comes back tomorrow, he's going to be guilty. If the verdict comes back next week sometime, that means they're probably fighting, and there's probably some disagreement in it. One thing that I was told by the lieutenant of the sheriff's department when I was incarcerated in one of my cases, and after the police officers had testified in my case, all of the sheriff's department, they ran the jail, not the prison, but they ran the jail, and that's where I was being housed. They said, you're going home. And I said, well, how can you guys be so sure? They said, when a jury sees somebody as lying, especially police officers, they won't convict. And like it or not, those police officers, it was pretty apparent that they were lying about stuff. Well, that seemed to be the case here with Murdaugh. The one thing that the jury must have seen is that the guy's a liar, and once the guy's a liar, you can't believe anything he says. Now,
For sure, I'd have to agree for sure that video. Well, let me finish
I
this.
thought,
My
and
ADD and
as I
shit.
said, I didn't watch the whole case, so I don't know. I'm not qualified to
You
render
qualified.
a judgment one way or the other because I didn't watch it all. But I know the guy's a liar. It's hard for me to think that he could have been on the stands 5, 6, 7 days and without lying. And I guess that's the way the jury saw it. In any event, it's done. It's over now. Down goes Murdaugh. I'm just saying. Take care.
Murdaugh down the drain, down the hole. So and the Swagit giveaway, we're gonna be doing that. So I pushed it from this weekend since I'm moving and I don't want added stress. I pushed it to Friday the 10th. All right. So Friday the 10th, we'll be doing the around 6 or something like that. Or I forgot what time I put it for. We'll do that. So make sure you download the app, follow me on there. It's a free, easy way to support the channel. And I post videos on there. And for your chance to win. So let's just kind of take a little look at see if they said anything else on this article. It says a juror who voted to convict Alec on Thursday told ABC News in an exclusive interview that the piece of evidence that convinced him of the disgraced lawyer's guilt was the cell phone video playing Murdaugh at the scene minutes before the murders of his wife and son. I was certain it was Murdaugh's voice, Craig, a carpenter, said as he recalled the background voice he heard during his first watch of the video captured by Murdaugh's son. The video was taken at the family's dog kennels by Paul Murdaugh, who later that night was brutally murdered along with his mother, Margaret. Everybody else could hear Murdaugh's voice too, Moyer said, referring to other jurors. Moyer's comments to ABC's Eva came just hours after he voted to convict Murdaugh, concluding the small town South Carolina saga. So let's see what else they said. His tears, which have been poured over the court TV watchers, looked to more like blowing snot. Oh no! Oh, so maybe I guess that had a negative effect. Because I think sometimes these attorneys, they tell their clients sometimes, I don't know, maybe not to be overly emotional. Isn't that a thing? I thought, because I forgot there was that one case. Well, there's been a bunch of them, but Henderson case. What's that guy? That psychopath? Henderson something? Charlie Henderson? I don't know. That guy that killed his he killed his parents or something? That guy had no emotion in the courtroom. When Murdaugh took the stand, he came off as a big liar. He said the former trial attorney's answer seemed too quick and clearly rehearsed. He knew what he wanted to say. I mean, he is a lawyer. He said, I didn't see any true remorse or any compassion or anything. Wow. So even with all the, tears and I don't know, whatever he was doing in court, Alec, this juror didn't buy it. And it's so interesting, people's perspective, different perspectives, right? Which I think a lot of it's based on experiences, the people's personal experiences, subjective. And so he wasn't buying it, but then at the same time, there's other people that buy it and believe that he was remorseful, that he was sad. There was people in tears themselves watching the trial. Some people said they broke down in tears and stuff, very emotional. And so it's really kind of interesting to see, some people don't buy it. They think it's BS. Some people think it's genuine and that he's a genuine guy. I don't know. But Moyer took Murdaugh at his word when he surprised the courtroom and admitted after months of denial that it was his voice on the video. I don't think he had a choice. That kennel thing sealed his fate, and lying about it. And it's interesting. Yeah. Paul, his son, sealed his fate with that video with the dog. Let me make sure I have this in the background with audio. Okay. whenever they start. I'm already hungry. Damn, I have to order something. This is a really interesting article. Thanks, Daisy, for sending it. For watching. Um, mm. It was then that Moyer said he knew how he would vote. When he and his colleagues arrived at the deliberation room late on Thursday, Moyer said they passed over the small talk they had entertained during their six. Let me see. Moyer said they passed over the small talk they had entertained. Oh, let me try that again. Moyer said they passed over the small talk they had entertained during their 6 weeks of sworn silence and took a poll on Murdaugh's guilt. 9, including Moyer, believed the defendant was guilty. 2 thought he was innocent, and 1 was unsure. That is interesting. And I remember I was saying with that case that I was on with James Layritz, there was really just one lady. And so, like, we all agree that this guy, there was reasonable doubt with that other case, that there was reasonable doubt as to whether it was his fault or not, because the other person that passed away, unfortunately, that person was intoxicated. James, I believe, was intoxicated. And there was different accounts of what happened that night, and it was just a really tough call. But the one person, I think she said that he should go completely free, like scot free. We were like, reasonable doubt that it was his fault, but like, he was under the influence. He should be charged for DUI. You know what I'm saying? So the one lady, so it was like this back and forth thing. We're having conversations and going back and forth, and so it's very interesting to hear that. 9, including Moyer, believed the defendant was guilty. 2 thought he was innocent, and 1 was unsure. He said the jury then watched the responding officer's body camera video taken at the crime scene. The heart of their brief debate surrounded shotgun shells, which he said the not guilty voters put forward as evidence of Murdaugh's innocence. During trial, the defense suggested that there were 2 triggermen, but the prosecution maintained that only man who was in the position to commit the crime was Murdaugh. It only took Moyer and the majority 45 minutes to turn the holdouts, he said. Okay, so they convinced the other people. I'm surprised. I really thought, I mean, I was shocked how fast they came back yesterday. I thought it was going to take longer. And as fast as it came back, I was thinking, okay, maybe they all unanimously initially decided, but there were some people that actually felt he was innocent or unsure. Wow. Moyer said he is tired of being in court, but on Friday he will once again make the 30-minute drive from his home in Colleton County. I want to see it, he said. It's a decision I have to live with. Wow. Okay. That's one of the jurors. Very, very interesting. Okay. Big says she wanted the link. Let me send it to you. Open up Discord. Good morning, everybody, man. Welcome. How you guys feel about that? Were you surprised? That's what this guy said, this juror. If you guys could hit the like button on your way in. Oh, and by the way, apparently there was a chase last night. And I called that whole life reversal card, that Uno card. Somebody who told me that? Yandor told me, he was like, "Yeah, you called it. It'd be a chase after you said chases are dead." Oh. Okay. Let me Two.
Vigilantes.
Well, you just said it wasn't the family or the kid or the kids or the family of the other kids in the boat, right? So you're saying it's somebody off of social media, and you don't have any evidence of that.
They're playing old clips.
That you're just telling that jury that as you try to explain the lie that you told for the first time yesterday. Isn't that right?
No, sir, that's not right.
It's not right. All right. Well, let me ask you a question then. So what you're telling this jury is that it's a random vigilante.
That's your
the 12-year-old, the 12-year-old 5'2" people that just happened to know that Paul and Maggie were both at Moselle on June 7th, that knew that they would be at the kennels alone on June the 7th, that knew that you would not be there, but only between the times of 8:49 and 9:02.
And there's people that believe it. There is people that believe that, you know. I mean, Tammy, thank you so much for gifting the memberships. Woo! Thank you. Good morning. Really appreciate that. I'm sure the people that got those memberships appreciate that too. Really generous of you. Thank you for the support. Jersey, thank you for the super sticker. Appreciate that. Did I miss some other stuff? Pam Birch, thank you for the super chat. I don't want to make sure I don't get behind today too far. The Wilson Dallas, thank you for the super chat, says he's guilty if he did or didn't do it himself. I mean, I said it the other day. I had reasonable doubt to whether he pulled trigger or not, but like there's just no way he's like not involved in some way, in some manner. But there's people that believe he's not involved at all. There's there's people that kind of believe the theory that like it was the drug dealers or like I've spoken to a couple people that thought, well, maybe two people that had the feeling like it was some sort of drug thing gone bad or something. The only thing with the drug theory to me is just kind of like, one, if you believe that it was that article, that if it was because of Eddie, why not actually target Eddie? Why target the person that's actually been buying your shit and supplying you? And then why you don't even kill that person, you kill that person's family? Like the two people, and then just the timing. You know, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. Soph, thank you for the super chat. Mel Annie, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, gonna miss the breakfast and lunch silent ASMR mini mukbangs. Cheers to surviving another trial to the end and wishing you a smooth moving transition. Thank you. Okay, thanks for the super chat. Says, thanks for all the hard work and time you've given us for this trial. Can we get a Ja Rule? Murder! I'm trying to think of one of the songs. How's that Ja Rule song go? Ja Rule song. Toma, that be giving it up, we say. That's a different song. Toma, that be giving it up. Ja Rule Murdaugh. This Murdaugh. Amber, thank you for the 9-month membership. Says defense thought Eggate would call mistrial. Tammy Clips, thanks for the 2-month membership. Good morning. Jay Gons, thanks for the super chat. Excited for you. One more sleep. Moving day coming. I know. I can't wait, man. We'll see when this trial ends today. And then I'm off probably for the rest of till Sunday, maybe. I don't know. Infamous Truth Teller, thank you for the super chat. Says AM was only worried about himself and no one else. He did this to himself. Oh, Diggs, thanks for the bitch. Oh, wow, I said bitch. Thanks for the bits on Twitch. Malfunctioning this morning. And then we're caught up there. Pam, thank you for the super chat. Carly, did you see the article that I read? Isn't that interesting? I find it crazy the three. Oh yeah, so you did. I find it crazy the three changed their minds so fast. I'd never changed my mind in that position. Still too many questions left unanswered. And that's what I'm really wondering, like, if we'll be able to get to hear from the other jurors. Because it's like, and I was thinking about that when I woke up this morning, like what exactly happened in that deliberation room? You know? And Infamous Truth Teller, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, ain't it funny with J-Lo? Ain't it funny that you want it? Something like that, right?
that they show up without a weapon, assuming that they're going to find weapons and ammunition there, that they commit this crime during that short time window, and then they travel the same exact route that you do around the same time to Alameda. That's what you're trying to tell this jury?
Yes.
You got a lot of factors in there, Mr. Waters, all of which I do not agree with, but some of which I do.
Well, it's interesting because the jury knew he lied and felt that his lies were just not good enough, and Murdaugh always seemed to blame someone else. Rich, what do you make of all the different stories and reasons the defendant gave? Would have it helped him to stick to just one story?
I think the stories are a big part of why the jury got where it is. Why the jury, by human nature, wants to figure out, well, if he didn't do this, who else did? And the idea of social media vigilantes storming the property, finding Paul at the kennel, killing his mom too. Why did they kill the mom if they were just mad at Paul? Why didn't they kill Alec? How was Alec on the property but didn't encounter these social media 5'2" assassins? None of it made sense. You have to throw it all out. And that clip we just watched, I think we have not given Creighton Waters enough credit for the cross-examination he did. It was a little too long. He spent a little too much time on the financial stuff. But he nailed Murdaugh on that question and answer about that theory not making any sense. And he nailed Murdaugh at the end about...
And I wonder... Let me put this in the chat. And I really hope they interview some more jurors. And it's totally up to the jurors. I mean, I know that the video is one of the biggest things, damning things, according to that juror. I guess the lies, but I wonder if Alex taking the stand sealed his fate for sure. Like, I wonder if there just would have been more jurors on the fence or saying he's not guilty or just not sure had he not taken the stand. You know, I just wonder if that made it worse.
The kennel video lie. He had a lot of good moments in that cross-examination, and I think that resonated with the jury.
Well, at the end of the day, he got the job done. Casey, what do you think?
Well, just hearing his testimony, it's like the pot calling the kettle black. He had the nerve to point to half-truths. And then what really struck me is the fact that he had a reason why both Maggie and Paul were murdered. I mean, I always try to think, as a criminal defense attorney, I try to think as a juror as well. And if you have a reason, that's kind of eerie because that reason was your reason because you were the murderer. And it just goes back to the essential, money is the root of all evil. His love for money was the motivating force as to why he committed this, because he gave a reason, but that was definitely his reason.
All right, well, I'm keeping an eye on the courtroom feed and we will go live to the sentencing here.
Okay. So everybody that joined, thanks for joining. If you could hit like. At the start of this stream, I read a really interesting article. If you want to rewind for a couple of minutes and listen to the article that I had up, this article was so interesting. One juror was interviewed by ABC, and he said that basically it was the video that did it for him, the kennels video, and that also, I think he mentioned the lying. And also that he particularly himself, he didn't buy the tears, and he said it looked more like blowing snot. That the only thing to me with Alec, you know, I don't know how. And I mentioned it one time we were watching the trial. I was like, I think he's just doing it, like he's purposely letting all this snot fall. I mean, unless he's just that distraught. It's like just tons of it. I'm like, you could just try to preemptively, but it's like he wanted it to fall almost to me. Vicky, thank you so much for the membership gifts. Appreciate that. Thank you for the love. You guys have really been amazing. Thank you so much. Mel Gremlins, thank you for upgrading your subscription. Let me just make sure I get the members. O'Neill, thank you for becoming a member. Amazing. Mary L12, long trial. Thanks for hanging in there with us. Order some breakfast for yourself. Thank you. I'm doing that right now. I don't know why I woke up like really. And it normally doesn't hit me till like, well, it's actually almost 10. Normally like going close to 11 is when it hits me. Today it's just like early today. I don't know. I mean, I did wake up earlier though. I woke up like at 6. Couldn't go back to sleep. do that. Mm. All right, let's do it. Okay. Let's change this. Okay, good to go. Boom. And I think I sent you the article, Diggs, right? Okay, yeah. All right. So they should be starting soon. Um, I'm really kind of curious to see who's going to talk. And so the thing, I didn't pay too much attention, but Buster's face, how was his reaction to the guilty stuff? Like, I saw something after, and like I didn't see much of a facial reaction. I don't know. Was he? Did anybody notice anything? Vic, 16 months, ride or die. Thank you. In my opinion, he nailed his own coffin when he confirmed he lied being at the kennels. Because I wonder if he never took the stand. Like, we all know that was him, and the prosecution had multiple witnesses coming in and like, yeah, that's his voice. Yeah, that's his voice. For some of those people, I think it was the first time they even, yeah, he lied to everybody. So for the first time, some of these people at the trial, his family, his friends, ex-co-workers, whatever, they're all finding out about this at the trial. And the other thing too with that, Vic, I mean, maybe it's on a smaller scale, but like, I still think it was a boss move when he pulled out TC Smalls. One second. Hello? Okay, sorry about that. I mean, most of you know there's like different things going on, so like I have, if I like important calls, I'll answer, you know, because there's just certain things going on. But it looks like we're back now.
All rise. Court is now in session.
Oh
boy! Presiding.
Today should be interesting. Feels Newman. Blue Eyed Candy, thank you for the super chat. I guess I'll get the super chats after.
Good morning. Parties ready to proceed?
State's ready, Your Honor.
Bench is ready, Your Honor.
All right, from the state, Mr.
Vic.
Waters.
Thank you, Your Honor. We're obviously here in the sentencing for the state versus Richard Alexander Murdaugh. Your Honor, I have prepared the sentencing sheets signed up. If I can hand those up to the clerk.
Oh, look at Alec. What is he wearing? Oh, that's his jail thing. Oh, man.
Your Honor, very quickly, the defendant has no prior record, and the state has no victim impact people who want to speak at this time. But I will address the court briefly. And I don't need, Your Honor, to repeat the evidence that Your Honor just heard for the past 6 weeks, but it is overwhelming. And it shows this man to be a cunning manipulator, a man who placed himself above all others, including his family. A man who violated the trust of so many, including his friends, his family, his partners, his profession, but most of all, Maggie and Paul. This is a very complicated situation, and I want to offer my condolences to the family that has suffered here. We have tried very hard to be respectful and sensitive regardless of what position any person took, because this family has suffered and they've had to suffer in the public eye. And I want to offer my condolences to this family. I want to offer it for Maggie and Paul and Mr. Randolph too, who I had the pleasure of working with on one occasion. But the reality remains is that despite all this attention, this case is about Maggie Murdaugh and Paul Murdaugh, and I'm so thankful that the jurors gave them a voice. You heard about Paul. Obviously there was the boat case, but you also heard him described as a fun-loving young man, a person who loved life, a person who would do anything for his friends, for anyone. And he's cut down as he was just starting to live his life. You heard about Maggie. You heard how sweet she was. You heard that she was a girl's girl who adapted to the outdoorsman life of her sons, how much she loved her sister and her brother-in-law and their children, and she was cut down in the prime of her life. Both of them, like everyone else, was unaware of who he really was. No one who thought they knew this man, no one who thought they were close to this man knew who he really was. And Your Honor, that's chilling. And I've looked in his eyes, and he liked to stare me down as he would walk by me during this trial. And I could see the real Alex Murdaugh when he looked at me. The depravity, the callousness, the selfishness of these crimes are stunning. The lack of remorse and the effortless way in which he lies, including here sitting right over there in this witness stand. Your Honor, a man like that, a man like this man, should never be allowed to be among free, law-abiding citizens again. And I would submit to you that the only just sentence here to give justice for Maggie and Paul is the maximum, and that would be 2 consecutive life sentences. Thank you, Your Honor.
You indicate that no victim would like to speak at this time. Would any victim like to speak at any time during these proceedings?
Your Honor, one of the things we did, and we did early on, obviously, as I just said, it's a very complicated situation, but we made the decision early on. We've had our victim advocate here who's been doing a wonderful job, regardless of the viewpoints of any individual family member, to provide aid and service to them, and we made that decision. I'm informed by our victim advocate that none of them wish to speak. The defense can certainly address that, but that's what I'm informed. But they certainly were offered the opportunity as is required.
So nobody wants to talk.
And I want to commend our victim advocate on the excellent job she did in handling this complex situation that we wanted to be sensitive to, because again, none of us are not mindful of the fact of the suffering of this family.
I noticed Sled Chief Mark Keel is here. Would you like to address the court on any matters, Chief?
No, sir. Just to say it again, very proud of our agents, the work they've done, and proud of the partnership that we've had with the Attorney General's office.
A sled?
Had for many years, and again, we're here to see that justice is served, and we believe it has been.
Thank you. For the defense.
Your Honor, Mr. Griffin and I would have no comment. The defendant would like to address the court, though.
Oh, Alec.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm innocent. I would never hurt my wife, Maggie, and I would never hurt my son, Paw Paw.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
That's it. Okay.
Sit down.
Yep.
Damn, bro.
Anything further?
I don't think further comment is necessary, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Murdaugh, if you'll come before the court for sentencing.
Damn.
This has been perhaps one of the most troubling cases, not just for me as a judge, for the state, for the defense team, but for all of the citizens in this community, all the citizens in this state, and as we have seen based on the media coverage throughout the nation. You have a wife who's been killed, murdered, a son savagely murdered, a lawyer, a person from a respected family who has controlled justice in this community for over a century.
Wow. Yeah.
A person whose grandfather's portrait hang at the back of the courthouse.
I heard about that. Yep.
That I had to have ordered removed in order to ensure that a fair trial was had by both the state and the defense. And I've sat through the trial. Not only have I sat through the trial, but also as the presiding judge of the state grand jury, sat through and participated in the issuance of search warrants of various sorts, bond hearings, and have had to consider many things. And we have this case, and I'm also assigned to preside over 99 others, at least 99 other cases. Though testimony has come up regarding many of those other cases, I will not make any comment with regard to any other pending matter, as I have been assigned those cases as well. It's also particularly troubling, Mr. Murdaugh, because as a member of the legal community and a well-known member of the legal community, You've practiced law before me,
Wow.
and we've seen each other at various occasions throughout the years. And it was especially heartbreaking for me to see you go in the media from being a grieving father who lost a wife and a son to being the person indicted and convicted of killing them. And you've engaged in such duplicitous conduct here in the courtroom, here on the witness stand, and as established by the testimony.
That means deceitful.
Throughout.
Woo! Like double. What does that mean?
Time leading from the time of the indictment and prior to the indictment throughout the trial to this moment in time.
I like that word, duplicitous.
Certainly, you have no obligation to say anything other than saying not guilty. And obviously, as appeals are probably expected or absolutely expected, I would not expect a confession of any kind. In fact, as I've presided over murder cases over the past 22 years, I have yet to find a defendant who could go there, who could go back to that moment in time when they decided to pull the trigger or to otherwise murder someone. I have not been able to get anyone, any defendant, even those who have confessed to being guilty, to go back and explain to me
why
what happened at that moment in time when they opted to pull the trigger, when they opted to commit the most heinous crimes known to man. In this case, qualifies under our death penalty statute. Based on the statutory aggravating circumstances of 2 or more people being murdered by the defendant by one act or pursuant to one scheme or course of conduct. I don't question at all the decision of the state not to pursue the death penalty. But as I sit here in this courtroom and look around the many portraits of judges and other court officials and reflect on the fact that over the past century, your family, including you, have been prosecuting people here in this courtroom.
Wow.
And many have received the death penalty.
Wow.
Probably for lesser conduct.
No!
Throughout your testimony. And perhaps with all the throng of people here, they, for the most part, all believe, or 80, 90%, 99% believe that you continue to lie now when your statement of denial to the court. Perhaps you believe that it does not matter, that there's nothing that can mitigate a sentence given the crimes that were committed. You know, a notice of alibi was filed in this case by counsel in November, and we conducted a hearing, pretrial hearing, in which you claimed to have been someplace else at the time the crime was committed. Then, after
know
all
that.
of the witnesses placed you at the scene of the crime, at the last minute, or last minutes or days, you switch courses and admitted to being there. And then that necessitated more lies and continued to lie. And I say, where will it end? It's already ended for many who have heard you and concluded that it'll never end. But within your own soul, you have to deal with that. And they will continue to do so. And reflect on the last time they looked you in the eyes, as you looked the jury in the eyes.
Damn. Fuck.
I don't. You know, your license to practice law has been stripped away from you. You turned from lawyer to witness, and now have an opportunity to make your final appeal as an ex-lawyer. And it's almost
5'2" people. I was like, that would have been savage.
I've seen that before. The person standing before me was not the person who committed the crime, though it's the same individual. We'll leave that at that.
I think the judge feels he did it
Before
too.
announcing sentence on these
Beyond
cases,
the
with
verdict.
regard to all of the other pending cases, are any of them here in Colleton, or I'm sure some of them are?
Yes, sir.
Half of them, or?
I don't have that in front of me, but there are a substantial number of charges here. There's some in Hampton, Orangeburg, Beaufort, Allendale. There may be others that I'm not thinking of right now.
We might have worn out our welcome here in Colleton.
Alton's been great.
They have been, and I'll take this opportunity to thank Sheriff Hill and all of the court officials and really everyone I've met and dealt with while here in Colleton County. Just been great. But without any delay, we're going to schedule some of the other matters.
Yes,
I know Mr. Harpootlian's scheduling is complicated, and you've sacrificed quite a bit to be able to be here defending Mr. Murdaugh, as well as the Attorney General's office, with all the other many things and obligations you have. And to be able to have the Attorney General here, Alan Wilson, for the period of time that he's devoted to being here, along with everyone else, it's been quite a sacrifice. But there are other victims whose cases deserve to be heard. And this case has jumped some of those other cases. Perhaps jumped it because of this case resulting in an assault on the integrity of the judicial system in our state, law enforcement in our state. Even during this trial, the law enforcement have been maligned for the past 5 or 6 weeks by one who had access to the wheels of justice, to be able to deflect the investigation. And as the evidence is pointed out in this case, the looming storm that Mr. Waters talked about, I can just imagine on that day, June 7th, when a lawyer is confronted and confesses to having stolen over $500,000 from a client. And he has a tiger like Mark Tinsley on his tail.
Ooh,
pursuing discovery in
Tizzy.
the case involving the death of Mallory Beach. And having a father, for the most part, on his deathbed. I could imagine, or really can't imagine, but I know it had to have been quite a bit going through your mind on that day. But amazingly, to have you come and testify that it was just another ordinary day. That my wife and son and I were out just enjoying life.
Bro.
Not credible, not believable.
Ooh. Ooh.
You can convince yourself about it, but obviously you have the inability to convince anyone else about that. So if you made any such arguments as a lawyer, you would lose every case like that. Cases you will never have an opportunity to argue anymore, except perhaps your own as you sit in the Department of Corrections. Anything further?
Flames! Flames! And the judge, like, flamed, man. From Tinsley to even talking about the day of, was it June 7th? With all this shit going on. So the judge, beyond, like, to me, how I'm interpreting it, beyond the verdict, he believes this guy did that shit. Clearly believes he did that shit.
All right, there you go. A scathing rebuke from Judge Clifton Newman. You almost felt in his sentencing as he was speaking that this was personal for him, and it is, as watching another member of the legal community go down in such a way. He said this has been an extremely troubling case for the entire county, for the entire state. He said you have a beautiful wife and beautiful son that were cut down too early. He also talked about having to have the portrait of Alec Murdaugh's.
I just want to hear the courtroom. I don't want to hear, in case the
juror's identity being anonymous. That order was issued, and for the most part, it's been complied with.
There's one out, though.
Except for the jury leaving the courtroom yesterday. Or not the jury, but the defendant leaving the courtroom while the jury is still seated. Protecting the identity of the jurors is certainly extremely important during the course of a trial to ensure that no one makes contact with the jury or attempts to influence the jury. Jurors have a right to continue that privacy beyond their jury service, but they're not obligated to do so. And it would not surprise me if jurors choose to come forward and to speak, and they're encouraged to do so if that is their desire. I have no problem whatsoever with the jurors unmasking themselves and speaking freely with the media because they have undergone a life-changing experience as it relates to many of them. And some of them are here now, and I want them to know that should anyone attempt to harass them or annoy them, please let me know and I will address the issue. Secondly, there's a complaint now regarding the posting of autopsy photographs or photos that came from within the courtroom. It's based on the direction of the photographs. It did not come from the audience, came somehow from within the well of the court,
Wait, did they leak like full
the
pictures or
parties
just?
have requested an investigation of that.
Ooh.
I have my hands full doing my job, and I don't attempt to conduct any investigations beyond the conducting of a trial.
Some of the court leaked it out?
But to the extent that law enforcement decides to review that, that's will be the responsibility of law enforcement. Yes. And of course, one of the reasons we've sought to seal graphic photos is because the parties have a right to privacy and a right to those matters not being publicly disclosed. If anyone has heard about the recent settlement that Kobe Bryant's, another sports
Did they sue
analogy,
TMZ?
Kobe Bryant's
Who they sue?
wife just made with Los Angeles County and others out there over certain disclosures of information involving the death of Kobe Bryant. Liability can be substantial, and it's a risk for the most part that's not worth taking. So we'll let everyone judge themselves accordingly with that regard. Aside from all that, our business is done here in Colleton County, and I get to use my gavel one or few times during this trial and order that court be adjourned. Sine die.
All right.
Judge Clifton Newman just remains so likable. You heard a bit of.
Wow. What? Janie, thank you so much for the gifting, the memberships. Wow, man. Wow. Judge killed it. Man. And it was crazy too, where he was like, he had seen him on other occasions, Alec. Like, he's literally seen him in person and shit. Damn, bro.
First sentencing I've seen, and I've seen a lot of them, where there was talk back and forth between the judge and the defendant. But there was in this case. Now, a couple things that he said that really stuck with me. Judge Newman said, this qualifies as a death penalty case, 2 murders.
I thought that was so interesting when he said that, and he was like, you guys have sent many people gave him death sentences or whatever. I was like, damn, as you stand here, to me, it's like he was saying you deserve the death sentence. Damn. It's Tizzy. Damn. He called Tizzy the tiger. Wow, man. Wow. So I'm really glad we did this trial, man. I am glad just to be able to see this ending. Maybe we can do some phone calls if you guys want. We can hang out for like another hour if you want, and then call it. And then I can get to my day, I guess. We can all get to our days.
On the witness stand and testified. Today, John Marvin also with him walking out of the courtroom. Again, John Marvin taking the stand and Buster taking the stand as witnesses.
So let me get these super chats, and then if you guys want to do some calls, if people want to just give their thoughts and opinions at the end, or if not, we just call it too. Either's fine. Mary, I got that already. Shelly O'Brien, thank you for the super chat, says, y'all notice Buster appears mad yesterday. Friend, 17 months. Thank you so much for the membership. Thank you for being a member that long. Mel, I was away for some time, lost my dad. Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. I always logged into all your notifications to hit like. Every notification I saw, I hit like. Thank you so much for that. I'm sorry about your dad. Francis, thank you for the super chat, says good morning. God bless you, iCkEdMeL. Thank you. God bless you too. Blue Eyed Candy, thanks for the super chat, says I was I was with you on feeling bad/sad during the verdict. He will thrive in prison. Gambling debts on top of money owed, possibly owed to cowboys, drug gang led, and MM and PM hit. He may have been made to witness. Thoughts? That last part I have a hard time. Gambling debts on top of money owed, possibly to cowboys, drug gang led to Maggie Murdaugh and Paul Murdaugh. I don't think so. I don't really believe the drug theory. I have friends that do. I don't really believe the drug theory. He may have been made to witness. So that's what one of my friends thought. One of my friends thought that maybe they killed both of them in front of him or whatever. But I would just think at this point, you're getting sentenced to life. For the drug theory, because there's some people that believe in the drug, or they think it's plausible, whatever. For the drug theory, to me, it's just like, you're going away for life. Your life is over. At some point, you're not going to be like, listen, this is what actually happened. Your life is over anyway. Your family's killed. Your legacy is done. You're going to like, all right, you know what? Let me protect these cowboys because I don't want to destroy their, I don't want to mess up their name, or maybe they'll kill me. Your life is done. They killed your family. For the people that believe in the drug theory, you think this guy is going to be like, all right, you know what? I'm going to give an oath to silence, and I'm no snitching. So I'm not going to snitch on the cowboys. I can't. The cowboy theory to me still, I don't know. I can't see it. I feel like there is something clear that's gone on with drugs, with Eddie, the cowboys, and even Murdaugh. I don't believe he was taking 66 something pills a day. But I do believe he probably was taking some oxy. I just don't think 60 something pill. Was he fronting, selling that stuff? Was he laundering the shit and saying that making the money disappear? And so he's like, oh yeah, it's just all in drugs. I just can't at this point. You're in front of the judge, and honestly too, the fact that that's all he said, I just thought he would say more. I'm innocent. I didn't kill him. You went this entire trial crying in tears, like doing all this shit for hundreds of hours, and you even took the stand at the very end where they're literally charging you and sentencing you for life. No emotion. I didn't do it. That's it. Or if it was the drug gang, cowboy gang, he couldn't have just said, hey, it was a cowboy gang. Or maybe you could say it's Sled. Sled did it. Maybe, and that's why he can't talk. He's afraid Sled will kill him in jail or something. I don't know. Sled. Alec, he's like 50 something. Dr. Edward Moskowitz, thank you for the super chat. Amazing. No, thank you for all you have done getting us through this trial. This is from us for your new apartment. Sweet Maddie. Dr. Edward Moskowitz, thank you. And Julie. I have my Kachava packed. Once I move, I'm going to start back in the Kachava. Kachava, man. I packed a lot of this stuff. Today, I'm pretty much done. There's like a couple more things. Today, I'm going to make some trips back and forth to the apartment, but I'm pretty much done.
To be led away and being convicted of murdering your wife and murdering your son. I definitely saw him grimacing. What did you think?
I agree. I think, as you mentioned, Judge Newman is, his peer, has worked with him before. So I think.
And I had a conversation with a friend yesterday too, because I like in life there's coincidences. There's some people that are just like coincidences. Coincidences are impossible. I've seen coincidences. Coincidences are possible, but then when you have multiple coincidences. And then if you look at Occam's razor, I don't think it's some crazy people like just waiting for the exact right moment, hiding in the bushes. I mean, things like that have happened, but given the context of everything with the story, I'm not gonna like go take this long route of a story of a possible story when it's just right there, Missy, thank you for becoming a member. Janie, thanks for the super chat. Says, damn boy, that color suits him perfect. Lisa Lulu, thank you, Mel. I've been watching you since that self-proclaimed Which murderer? Oh, yes. Oof. Ryan Shannon, something like that. He's still locked up. Sally, thank you for the bits. KJ, thank you for the super chat. Says, where's Judge Emoji? Oh, yeah, he should be up, right? He should be here. You earned this, Mel. Great coverage. Thank you. Good luck in your new home. Thank you so much. Courtney, thank you for the super chat. The only emotion he's shown with the judge is when the judge talks about him. Not a shred of emotion when anyone speaks about Maggie and Paul. I don't know. I just thought it was, I would have thought, I don't know, maybe something or like a memory or just like, I don't know. And if you truly didn't do it, no emotion? You just got convicted for life? I mean, are you not supposed to show emotion there? I mean, he showed the emotion the entire time of the trial. You're convicted for life and it's just, or I don't know, could you say he's in shock? Damn, bro. Boosta, thank you for the super chat. It says, thank you for writing this out, Mel. I've been with you every single step of the way. I appreciate you and the laughs you give me through you get me through such agony at times. Oh, thank you. Much love. Thank you. Janelle Ann, thank you for coming a member. Damn. Sally Gold, thank you for the bits on Twitch. St. Pat Brat, judge's wife was in court nearly every day. Oh, I didn't know that. And I was told that she's just as adorable as a beloved Judge Newman. That ending made me like the judge more. He went hard. He like delicately destroyed, you know? Rita, thank you for becoming a member. KJ, thanks for becoming a member. And I love that duplicitous. I'm gonna use that shit on a chick one day. Mel, I don't know, Mel. You're being duplicitous. What? What are you talking about? You're duplicitous. I'm gonna use that shit. I need a Rolodex of like little interesting words that I like, and so I can start expanding. You're duplicitous. Mandy, thank you for the super chat. Says, truly believe he will not make it in jail. I think the food's here. I think it's here. Oh, maybe it says 2 minutes away. Okay. Tracy, thank you for the super chat. Says, judge does an amazing sentencing. Watch his reaction to the charged mom's impact statement and the sentencing of the Uber driver impersonator murderer. Epic. If you can find it, if somebody can send me the link to that. Tracy, thank you for the 11-month membership. Amazing. Thanks for all you do. Sam Panther, thank you for the super chat. Miss Kitty's mom, thanks for the super chat. JB, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Says, Mel, you and this community made this crazy, frustrating trial so much easier to watch. Thank you for all the hours. Yeah, I can't believe we made it, man. We're at the end. We made it. KP, thanks for the super chat. High life hookers, mistresses, drug money is gone. True. Let's see. Infamous truth teller. Have you heard about that girl that was trafficked and she had to be with AM? Yeah, we listened to that on one of the streams. Her story was crazy. He liked to choke her out. Yeah, we listened to that on one of the streams. All right, I'm gonna go grab this. I'll be right back.
In a death penalty case. All right, I'm hearing from our producer. We're going to wrap right now on what we call the Big 19. But if you would like,
okay, hold on.
Disagreement that clearly she did not agree with what he was saying. I feel like, you know, they've been here every day. His sister's been, I don't think there's been a day she's missed. So it kind of lends the idea that she believes in Alec himself, that he did not murder Maggie and Paul. And, you know, I guess that's what families do sometimes. But you have to wonder, what have they learned sitting there every day in this trial that they didn't know coming in? Sure, there's a lot of issues that they're going to have to deal with for the rest of their life.
Judge Newman has really become a star in this case. Very profound, like the Zen master of all judges here, especially what he had to say. What really connected with me was he said, well, maybe it wasn't you who did it. It was the monster in you who did it. It was all that opioid addiction that caused you to be a different person. Then he handed down the life sentence, the consecutive life sentences for Alec Murdaugh. What were you surprised?
No, I mean, a double murder, it's in South Carolina, anytime you have a double murder, it's probably going to be life in prison. I didn't expect it to be any different from him. He's never getting out, obviously, now we know for sure, but there's so much surrounding this guy, and I'm not going to be surprised if so much more over the course of months or years is revealed about past crimes that he committed that have yet to be discovered.
Well, we saw a very different looking Alec Murdaugh this morning. He was in that orange jumpsuit. He had flip-flops on as you're taking a look at that video right now. When you think about what happened between last night and now, Gigi, take us through what this past 16 hours have been like.
Yes, calls.
It's been a wild ride. We were not expecting a verdict necessarily, but we got rumblings. We all ran to the courthouse. Every person that came inside that courtroom was breathing heavy because it was so last minute, wanted to get in. And then just the guilty verdict, when it was read, it was very surreal. Even though, people have been divided here, honestly. There's been a lot of people who thought this would be a hung jury. And in fact, a couple of jurors were in the beginning, more on the not guilty side. Took about 45 minutes to convince those two that he was guilty. And you had that reading. It was hard to watch the family, Buster especially. He took it very hard when Alec turned around, looked at him, and said, "It's okay, I love you." That was when Alec immediately teared up.
All right, I'm going to connect to the line. All right, let me tell you something. And I'm eating breakfast, excuse me, but I don't take pleasure, in somebody's life, even though you could say he deserves it, but I don't yes, rot in hell, die. I mean, maybe some people feel like that. I don't know, but it's like when I heard the verdict, like I said yesterday, something just felt weird. I love what the judge said. Justin, thank you so much for that super chat, man. That was really nice of you. Thanks for the fantastic coverage. Much love to you and Twitch fam. Sled sent 100. Thank you so much. That was really nice of you. Amazing. There's some sort of sadness about it too, but when shit like that happens, I just try to think of the victims, I just try to think of and not even just Paul and Maggie. Think about all the people that got fucked over, over the years and shit. I wonder what cousin Eddie thinks. What does Eddie think about that shit? They need to get some commentary from him. What does Eddie think? I mean, think about all of those victims, all of those locals for years and years and years. I know it's financial stuff, but people that got taken advantage of in their worst moments, when their family's dying and shit, when they've been in a tragic accident or something. I don't know. Maybe you could say it's karma or something, you know what I mean? You dial in right here. Dialing in. It's not working. There you go.
Thank you.
Okay. Damn, that's crazy. 407. How you doing? Where you calling from? Cheeks. How you doing? Good. Man,
listen. Life has been happening, but I stay working and lurking. I've been watching. Couple of things. I can't remember who it was that sent the super chat about their father, but I definitely want to send my condolences. My dad just got out of the hospital. So, definitely want to send that. This man, he's just old.
you're playing in the background.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, my work phone. Listen, I be doubling. First of all, let me just say, Slim, when you come up here, when I tell you you owe me a shot because you didn't even want to cover this case, how many of us told you
covering.
You're right. And there was somebody that got mad at me for not covering it. I mean, for covering it, somebody got mad at me. But yeah, you guys were telling me to cover it.
Listen, I told you, and I remember you being like, man, I don't know. And we was like, look, bro, the shit is crazy. The shit is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to call, check in, because like I said, I know Diggs was like, Cheeks, I've been wondering. I'm like, man, I've been here, but COVID has hit my patients extra hard in these facilities. Yeah. It's like a second wave if you have any family in nursing facilities or nursing homes. So we've been dealing with that. Then like I said, my dad just got out of the hospital, and my kid almost killed me trying to teach her how to drive. So
oh Lord,
life has been exciting, but not as exciting as this case. I'm not too shocked. Somebody asked if he's gonna appeal. I feel like we all know he's gonna appeal.
For sure.
Is it gonna get anywhere? Probably not. I'm just really like, yeah, this was the expected outcome. Like, I understand what the juror was saying, and again, somebody else mentioned it. I don't think I personally would have been able to have been flipped so quickly, especially when you have a juror of 9, even though majority is saying, yes, he's guilty. I don't know if I would have been easily persuaded. I'm still kind of on the fence. I see the evidence and, all that. I have theories, but I try to make sense of the theories, and I'm still sitting on the reasonable doubt. And then it also makes me wonder if they really were able to actually move this case and not have people from the community that know this.
I'm surprised they didn't do that. I'm surprised they didn't move it.
Well, they wanted to. The defense did not want to. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
They said that they felt that any person who did not know this family and their dynasty or legacy really wouldn't have a dog in the fight of judging him, but whatever. But it makes me wonder if maybe their game plan was, if they did get people who did not know, did not have a personal communal history with this family, if in fact this shit might have ended in a mistrial. It's interesting. I've mulled this over since last night, and I'm like, damn, I wonder if this shit would have turned out or ended up coming out differently if they ended up changing the venue, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm just, like I said, I kind of knew I was like, bro, you're guilty. They're going to send you to jail unless you've got, like, what you call it, proof, evidence saying, like, yo, I did not do this. Bro, you're going up the river. You're going up the river, Slim. Oh, my God. It's crazy out here. There was a deadly crash in Orlando. I'm calling y'all stuck in traffic. Be
Lord.
careful when you come out here.
Yeah, I'm coming
when
September, right? September?
I know. September is already
I got you on
calendar.
shots. Yes.
I told you. Yep. You owe me a shot. I owe you a couple of shots.
All right.
I'm not going to keep you on too long, but congrats to you and Maddie on the move.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I said, keep doing your thing, big dog. I'll be seeing you. I'll be working and lurking.
All right. Appreciate it, Cheeks. Take care.
Not a problem, babe. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Thanks. I normally I'd keep her longer, but the lines, there's a lot of people that called in, so we'll keep it moving. 520, how you doing? Where you calling from? Who's this?
This is Infamous.
Oh, Infamous. Hey.
How
you doing? I've seen you in the chat.
Hey,
How's it going? Good.
You do such a great job, iCkEdMeL. I just want to say that. You do a great job. You just got a great attitude about it. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get a big head about it. And
Thanks.
I just think you cover stuff very well. You got a great personality.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to say, I don't know. I just think that he just, like they said, the tangled web he weaved, you know? And he's just more worried about himself. And I feel bad for Buster because I think when they read, like, the third guilty verdict, that's when you seen his face, like, it just really hit home. Like, you saw all over his face, like, man, his whole world just came, you know what I mean, started crashing down. Like, he realized, like, this is really happening. And he looks so sad. I feel bad for him because he's lost everything, absolutely everything, except for his uncle and the, the siblings, or the cousins,
Speaking of Buster, I saw somebody make a comment yesterday because that guy that was killed, Steven.
Yeah.
I think they reopened that because of this case, I thought, and so I don't know.
They said that Buster. They think the Buster and some of his friends went and
they think they did it. So Somebody mentioned yesterday that
Yeah.
they're going to look into Buster next. Imagine that. Like, I don't know. Imagine somehow in the future it led to that. Like, they
Yeah.
start investigating and he gets locked up or something. The whole, that'd be
Yeah,
nuts.
they have a lot of hidden shame. You know what I mean? In their
Mm.
family. If you go back, I was watching the Hidden True Crime channel,
Mm-hmm.
and they went back in generations, and they have a lot of where they like to cover it up really quick because they don't want that shame on their name. So there was like a unaliving, and there's a lot of stuff that's happened generationally in their family. So it's like a curse almost, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I just want to say thank you. Thank you. You're
Thank you
just
so much.
a great commentator and a creator.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Infamous.
All right, take care.
All right, you too.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, let me get the next caller. And I'm going to pause new calls coming in. I just want to take all these calls first. Make sure we get everybody. So 731. How you doing? Where you calling from? Yes, hey.
Hey, this is Kimmy Parador.
Hi, Kimmy. How you doing? Welcome.
Thank you. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, calling from Memphis, Tennessee today.
Nice. Tennessee.
Yeah. I have been with you for 29 days from morning till night, and you've done a fantastic job.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for riding out with me.
I have loved every minute of it. And I was really shocked with the verdict. I was really expecting a hung jury. I just wasn't sure, but there were some defining moments in some of those testimonies that made me just feel like, oh, they're going to say guilty. And I wanted to ask you what were your moments like as far as testimonies that made you feel like he was guilty?
So like I've been saying, so when I watched those documentaries, I was like, oh, this guy did it. But then when I try to like focus on the trial, I said like I have reasonable doubt that he's the one that actually shot the gun. But I do believe he has involvement. I do believe he has involvement. And so like the stuff that stuck out to me, I mean, clearly the Cannell video. I think when they did that whole timeline like overview towards the end, I thought that was really good.
Yes.
The whole the Cannell video was like the biggest thing to me. The cell phone data,
the Cannell video.
The cell phone data when like they were mid conversations and they just stopped talking to everybody around the same time. Alex's testimony and him lying on the stand, like lying to the jurors, like looking at them, lying at them. I mean, just kind of like.
Exactly. And for me, I thought Maggie's sister. I thought she said some things that damaged him, like when she asked him about, well, are you scared, Alec? And he said, no, I'm not scared. And she wondered why he wasn't looking for the killer. Why was he not looking for? This was Maggie's sister on the stand. And, she was like, I was concerned because he wasn't even trying to find who killed his wife and son.
Right. Really good point, yeah.
And she said, he said, when she questioned him about it, she said, whoever did this was thinking about it for a long time. And that put something in her head like she didn't feel comfortable with. Because I think she was thinking it was him,
Right.
And and they have not been able to, I've read, through news articles and stuff that they've not been back since she testified because her husband has had a stroke since then.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I'm sure, I can't imagine the pressure of this whole family, what they've had to go through. The law firm, that 4-generation law firm just completely had to shut down, and somebody had to pull it up with another name, and all the people that he shamed and did wrong and lied to and stole from, But I don't want to keep you long. I just want to say best wishes, and I've enjoyed
much.
being on your channel. Yeah, watching your chat. I've enjoyed being with your crew because they're a lot of fun and funny. Your chat's funny. It makes me
We have
laugh.
a really good chat, yeah.
And
Thank you.
yeah, and you've got a great channel and a great sense of humor, and I wish you the best of luck
Thank
on
you.
your move.
Appreciate that. Thank you so
Okay.
much. All right, take care.
Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Last call. I was thinking about that too. I wonder what his family truly thinks. Clearly they're in support of him, but like at the same time, they didn't even know about the kennels, I don't think, until the trial. I wonder when they found that out, that kennel stuff, did it kind of make them start thinking like, shit, I don't know. Maybe he is kind of sus. Maybe he was involved. 336, how you doing? Where you calling from?
This is Kristen Reardon. I'm calling from North Carolina.
Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Hey, I am excited to with you. I have. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I think they're gonna do a presser.
Give just a minute.
They're going to do a presser? What are you
I
talking about?
think so. They're standing there right now.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
All right, go ahead and say what you were going to say. If I have, I might have to interrupt you and pause you. But go ahead.
That's okay. I was just calling to say I appreciate you having your coverage of this. I have
Give me a
been
thumbs
listening
up.
to you since every day at 9:30, and I
Thank
work
you, yeah.
from home. So.
Oh, nice.
And I really appreciate the humor because I work doing design work, so it's kind of like a funny background commentary
okay.
on a really serious.
My name is Mark
I don't live
Keel.
that far from all
right.
of this.
And I'm
You
chief
hold
of
for me.
South Carolina Law Enforcement
Hold for me, okay?
Division,
I'm going to get right back to you. I'm sorry. Hold on for me.
otherwise known as SLED.
Okay.
Thanks. All right, I'm going to get back
For
to her in a
those of
second.
y'all in the local media,
Okay.
Sorry,
you know
guys.
I don't do very
Just
many
hold, guys.
press conferences.
Sled over here doing press conferences?
I've been chief of SLED for 12 years, and I've only done 2.
Sled's sus, though.
The last one I did was in June of 21 to talk about significant violent crime that's just been unprecedented in our state. But today it's important for me to speak out.
What?
It's important because of the victims in this case. It's important because Maggie and Paul cannot. I want to make one thing clear to everybody. There are no winners today. I have a truly humbling responsibility
Chief Sled?
as being chief of SLED. I lead a dedicated and professional group of investigators, forensic scientists, and support personnel. A staff that work day in and day out for days just like today to bring justice for victims. And today is not the end. It's the next step in a long road to justice.
Ooh.
For every person who has been victimized by Alex Murdaugh.
Ooh.
Alex Murdaugh has now been rightfully found guilty of murdering his wife Maggie and Paul. He was found guilty because he was guilty. And as one of the witnesses said, Paul was a little detective. This case serves notice to anyone who aided or assisted Alex Murdaugh in committing any crime, that justice will be sought. This was an incredible effort by SLED, our local and federal partners, and our partners at the Attorney General's office. And I want to thank Attorney General Wilson and all of his prosecutors, paralegals, and all of his support personnel as well. They did a fantastic job. The agents and prosecutors who worked this case have sacrificed countless moments from their own families to ensure that a person responsible for the murders of Maggie and Paul was fairly tried and brought to justice. The people who work this case do it because they are called to serve. They do it to bring a voice to the voiceless. And they're dedicated public servants. And for that, I'm grateful. SLED agents have worked tirelessly for the past 21 months to ensure justice was served for Maggie and Paul. It is impossible for most people to understand the countless hours of hard work that went into this case. Time away from families, missed birthdays, missed holidays. And it is all done under constant scrutiny, constant pressure. I want these folks standing behind me and around me.
Bow down. Take a bow.
To know how incredibly proud I am of him as Chief of SLED.
Damn.
I believe firmly in this criminal justice system that we have. And I believe in the rights of an accused to have a fair trial. That is why I have remained silent from beginning of this case until now. Again today, I'm here to provide a voice for Maggie and Paul. I'm here to recognize the heart-wrenching journey that that family and friends of Maggie and Paul have endured. And I'm here to support and thank again this incredible team of agents, forensic scientists, support personnel that work at SLED and that worked on this case. Yesterday and today, justice has been served. Thank you.
Sure. SLED. 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 So SLED did a press conference. That's the top SLED guy? Chief SLED? Damn. Okay, let me get back. 336, I'm taking you back. Hey. Sorry about that.
Oh my God. Thank you. No, that's okay. I turned off my YouTube, so I had no idea what was happening.
So yes, tell me your thoughts with this whole trial stuff. And thank you again for your support.
So when that first happened in June of, what was it, 2021, when that murder happened, like, the first thing I thought was, well, of course it was him because he was the only one there. Like, okay. But, of course, there's always a chance it could be something else. So I've followed the whole case. I really have never thought he wasn't guilty, but I could see how there could have been reasonable doubt. And it was funny to me when OJ, commented on it. I wasn't really shocked about that. You know, I've lived through Casey Anthony's trial and OJ and, this one. They're all different, but all similar. And
did you see the Casey Anthony documentary?
Oh, yeah. Gosh.
So you think she's innocent?
I don't know if it's, no. Oh, my goodness. I have a little girl, and it's just, a lot of that is just horrendous. I mean, my goodness. But I really enjoyed, like, having it's so different now. Like, when the OJ case came out, we didn't have, like, YouTube and all that. You know, I was in high school, and I'm 30 now, and like this case is so different to listen to because I can go on YouTube, hear someone commentate on it, and it's a little less heavy, but entertaining. Even though it's a really dark topic, but for he'll appeal. They have already planned that. That's why they wanted to get to the crime scene. So that was like they're trying to trip up and get appeal options. And I was so nervous because they were down to the last alternate, and I was like, if we can just get through the case.
I know.
But in the other cases coming up, I'm interested in are like the Daybell case. I don't know if you know about that one, and then of course the Kohberger case. But
yeah, the Daybell. I watched the documentary on Netflix. I never deeped over that, but I did watch the documentary, so I have like a little idea of the story. I know that one's very complicated, and twisted, and all over the place.
I know it sounds crazy, but I understood what you meant, like when you're watching the verdict of guilty. It's not like I didn't think it's not like I didn't agree with it, but something in me, I guess being a parent, I was like,
Yeah.
is there a part of these people that have done these things that somewhere inside of them feels bad? Like, regardless of how it all went down, that we will never know. Like, I like to think there's still some human in there, but I don't know. Maybe not, because we're not supposed to relate to him. That would be weird if we related to him. So,
and it made me think, like, with what you're saying, when the judge too, when he was like, I think he said something like, you know, all the people that have been like found guilty, and even ones that have confessed, when it came to like saying why, like what happened in that moment, like none of them had an answer. You know,
I don't know if it's the ego. Maybe it's just the ego in people. I mean, I think we've all known someone that they can't get around their pride. But yeah, you're right. At some point, you know, maybe not now, because he was probably still hoping for some glimmer of a chance. But maybe down the line he'll say something. But maybe not. A lot of these people never say they did it. They never will. But
right.
I don't live like terribly far from all of this, and I mean, it's a big case for the South. I mean, I live in North Carolina, so, but I have family that's traveled through that area, and it's a very tight community in the South. Everyone knows your business. So I personally don't think that everyone else is innocent in that family, but I don't know. I mean, how am I supposed to know? But it seems like he was the kind of the head snake, and you cut the head off the snake, but now there's still probably other pieces that need to be solved, like the Stephen Smith case, which is awful.
Yeah, I'm so curious about that, and I feel like they were almost alluding to something, but they didn't say what, like the sled.
Yeah,
you know. So
a sled. Thank you for all of the voices. I appreciate that.
Of
It makes
course.
me laugh when I'm working.
Yeah, no problem. Thank
and
you for
Nancy
your support.
Grace is very fun.
You like Nancy?
Yes, thank you again. Yeah, Nancy's awesome. I know she's a little bit edgy or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I appreciate her
I do
honesty
too.
is
She's pretty
fun.
funny. Yeah.
She's funny. She doesn't care. All
All
right.
right. Well, thank you.
Good luck.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Take care.
All right.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Okay, so I have 4 more callers because I paused it because I wanted to catch up. I didn't want it to get too full. Let me take this next one. 910. How you doing? Where you calling from?
This is Sea Shark Mama. I'm also from North Carolina.
Hey, welcome. Okay. You said Sea Shark? Sea Shark or T Shark?
Sea Shark.
Sea Shark.
Mama.
Okay, Mama. Hey, welcome.
Thanks.
So
I
what's
used
your
to put my
thoughts?
name up there, but you told me to change it, so I
Yes,
changed it to something
please.
fun.
Yeah. I want you guys to be good too. I don't want people like targeting people that are watching me. You know.
Yeah. So my husband and I have been following this case because it's relatively close to us. And the thing with us is we thought that he was guilty because of how he reacted to everything. My husband, being a father himself, he's like, if I wasn't guilty of this, I would be overly emotional. Like, you can't prosecute me. You can't send me to jail. You can't do all these things. I'm innocent. And there was zero emotion from him.
Are you talking about the last part, or are you talking about throughout the trial?
Yes.
The last part.
Well, throughout the trial, I mean, he fake cried. We all know that. But then at the end, when he's like, I did not kill my wife or Paw. Like, if somebody told me I was going to jail for the rest of my life and I really didn't do it, I'd be losing my mind. And my husband was the same. He goes, if I didn't kill you guys, there is no way that they would take me out of there without there being some true emotion coming
I
from
know.
me.
I mean, it's your
So-
last like message to the world. You know, like your last your last word that you can try to like, I don't know, say something, make a plea. You guys are really wrong. You made a mistake. I love them. How could you like something besides the same look that he's been given the entire trial? I didn't hurt them or I didn't kill them. That's it. You had nothing to say.
Absolutely
I don't
nothing. Stone faced. And I get that. You're a lawyer. You have to differentiate your work life from your personal life. But this is your last rally cry here. And there's not an enchilada from him. And so he may not have done it. It may have been the monster from the 20 million Oxycontin that he did.
Oh, the judge.
But bless his heart. I mean, justice was served. So thank you for all you do.
Thank you. Yeah.
We truly appreciate watching you. So
Thank
Have
you.
a great day.
You too. Thanks.
Good luck moving.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Nice call too. Very nice call. And it's interesting. I like hearing some of the people from the South to call. 716. How you doing?
It's Carly.
Carly. So good. So I want to know your thoughts for sure, because I know you're on the side of like there's not enough beyond a reasonable doubt, right?
Yeah. So basically, when there started becoming rumblings of, oh, he's going to take the stand, we think he's going to take the stand, I was like, no way.
Do you think that was a mistake?
That will be terrible.
Do you think that was a
And my
mistake?
reason for thinking that is, I'm sorry, what?
Do you think that was a mistake on his part? He shouldn't have done that, or do you think it was good, or what are your thoughts on that?
Well, when it first happened, I said, no, don't do it. Because the jury has heard for weeks that he's a manipulator, he's a liar, he wins cases by manipulating juries into feeling bad for people, and that's how he's a good lawyer. I was like, no, he should not take the stand, because they have that in their head.
Right.
And I took the stand. I'm like, okay, maybe he didn't do too bad. I mean, the crying was real. That was real. But you can cry because you killed someone, too.
Right. And apparently that juror didn't believe it, I guess.
No. And then I feel like his lawyers failed him.
Ooh, tell me how.
Because they opened the door
Oh, yeah,
for
they
the
did.
financials and for Cousin Eddie. And let me tell you something. If the financials never got in, the jury wouldn't hear on and on and on and on about how he's a liar.
Right.
So they wouldn't, even if he took the stand, they wouldn't have had it in the back of their face. Oh, he's known to be a pathological liar. And he's stolen millions of dollars from victims of terrible accidents. So I think him taking the stand and them opening the door did him in. But then there comes the question, did they truly open the door? And that'll be decided in appeals court.
Right. I think they have a lot to work
And then
on appeals.
I do too, because there's a lot of hearsay. There was just a lot of stuff that went in on the court that the judge allowed. I feel like he was kind of equal on both sides with what he allowed the lawyers to get away with, but it shouldn't have been allowed at all. And then I personally think Alex will do good in prison.
I think he's going to do okay too.
He's probably a favorite. He will help people work their cases.
That's so true. I didn't think about that. That's a really
People
good
will come to him for advice.
Yeah.
He'll probably make money in commentary, to be honest. He'll do good in prison. I don't think he'll be like attacked or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be attacked either. And I didn't think about that. Yeah, he could help out other inmates and stuff. He can get people off.
Yep. And with the way Flood is and how sloppy they are, I would not be the least bit surprised if there are innocent people in prison because of them. That's what I've wondered this whole time. I'm like, were they sloppy because who it was? Or were they sloppy because they're just sloppy?
Right.
I didn't like to sloppy.
I feel like there must have been.
Why didn't they test the hair?
Oh yeah,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's okay. No, with Maggie, right? Is it
Yeah.
Maggie's hair that they didn't test? Oh, so in her hand. You're talking about the hair in her hand.
In her hand, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was weird.
It's just those little things that make me wonder. I'm like, well, how did he throw the phone if the phones were never moving together? And how did he do all this stuff? And I don't know. But the jury found him guilty. One thing I do wonder.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna ask you like what you thought about the guy throwing the phone in the office.
Oh, that was so stupid, but I laughed so hard. Like
I was
it was
dying.
just so funny. They were like, so you don't know any more than what we know, than anyone else in this courtroom knows. And he was like, yeah. I'm like, oh my goodness, like what are you doing? And I felt bad for him because the prosecutors put him up there. And oh, poor guy.
I almost felt bad for the guy, yeah.
But I do wonder, like, if that juror that got dismissed, if she wouldn't have opened her mouth I wonder what the outcome would have been.
It could have been
Because
totally
it sounds
different.
like she was it sounds like she was very on the side of they have no evidence whatsoever.
And I wonder if those jurors, like
And
I
if-
don't know if they feel like pressure too, because I just remember. Have you ever done jury duty before?
I haven't.
No,
I
so
skip it.
so I think some people too, like let's say it's a group of all these people, and then like maybe you're the minority, one or two people, you might feel one pressure to kind of like, all right, let me just, or two, like I'm so tired of this shit, I want to get out of here, even though you're not supposed to think like that. That maybe you just kind of cave in. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking because I'm like, so a video of like when they came to the crime scene is what changed your mind?
Yeah.
Like I know I personally wouldn't have been swayed by that because I stick to my guns. Like, if I believe something, that's it. Like, there's no change in my mind. I'm very stubborn. So I wonder what got them, like, not guilty to guilty.
Right.
Because usually you'll go, like, to undecided, I would think.
What did you think of the judge at the end?
I thought he did good. I thought what he said was good about, like, oh, well, maybe it wasn't you. Maybe it was the person.
Right,
you want all the drugs and this and that.
Yeah.
But to be honest, opiates don't really make you, like, they make you like a fiend, but they don't make you like evil and vindictive and all that stuff. They don't do that.
Right. I would think something like meth maybe or something like that. PCP would do some shit like that.
Yeah, like something that makes you something that makes you hallucinate, not like opiates. And then you were talking about what Alex said, and nothing he said was going to change the judge's mind.
Yeah, but it wasn't that.
It didn't really matter what he said.
I was just thinking to put out to the public, like your last message to your family, your friends, the last thing that the world is gonna see. Like, what do you have to say? It's not about the judge. I was just thinking, like, I don't know, like a plea or just your final message. It was just so short and just I didn't do it. Like after all this shit with the trial, after all the things you did on the stand, after all the crying and everything you did when you were sitting with your lawyers, and I was just so surprised that at the very end, that's it. It's just
no emotion either.
Maybe he knew it was coming.
And
I
I
guess.
seen him like shaking his head yes when the judge was saying like, I know you see them at night. He was nodding his head yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, well, he probably did it, and he'll probably does. He deserves to be in prison. That's one thing I've been
That's true.
I've been undecided and felt like he was not guilty in this murder because the lack of evidence. But I never felt that he doesn't belong in prison for the rest of his life for what we know for a fact that he has done.
That's true. I mean, one way or another, they were going to get him, I guess. He was going to be away for the rest of his life.
Well, we'll be able to see him too. We'll see him on 2020 or a Dateline. We'll do a jailhouse interview.
Oh, probably, yeah. That would be interesting.
This case is so big.
And they're still going to try him for the finance stuff? Like, I guess it's going to be a trial for that too? Or do they even bother at this point?
Well, I mean, they might not bother at this point, but if anything, I think he'll plead guilty because he just went on the stand and admitted to everything.
Everything,
so
yeah.
It would be a waste for him to go to trial and even try to fight it. Like, it would just be stupid and a waste of money.
All right, Carly. Well, thank you so much for calling. For Buster. Yeah.
Yeah, my heart breaks for him.
Yeah, I mean, no.
Thank you for streaming.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. I appreciate you sharing your thoughts.
They're awesome.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, bye.
Have a
Carly.
good weekend. Good
You
luck
too.
moving.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye. All right, last call here. And we're caught up. Okay. 303. How you doing? Amazing. Thank you for calling.
Oh, thank you for everything. Thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you guys for riding with me.
Wow, all of your voices. I've attended and worked at a lot of trials, and I have to say, you are hilarious.
Thank you.
I mean, I can't. And the future trials I'll have to go to when, the bailiff comes in and says, all right, I'm totally going to start chuckling and saying, all aboard. Like, you are hilarious. And I have never experienced watching a trial or observing a trial with such humor. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
You know, with Alex, I really do think that he was fully expecting to win, to get out of there unscathed. I mean, that's all he knew. They called that Murdaugh country. They did.
Really? Murdaugh country?
So,
I didn't think about that. Oh, shit.
yeah.
Damn.
Oh, yeah. So, like, he grew up into a family where they are the law. He was like, I'll get out of this. This is it. You know, no blood spatter. I wonder why. You know?
Yeah.
He knows what to do to get rid of evidence. And you see that with, like, the clothes being gone. But, I mean, yeah, I'm an empath, too, and I still feel bad.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
I mean, he deserves to go. But, yeah, it's a weird feeling, for sure. I love Judge Newman. And, you know, what got me was when John Meter, when he said in his closing that, oh, you really think someone's going to come in here and just say, oh, we'll just use their guns. They'll have guns for us to use. I was like, that's totally true. Yeah, like, it's clearly him. But, and I did not like the defense lawyers. It's just, Jim kind of was like bumbling. Whatever he
in the closing
was
statements,
say,
or throughout the entire thing, closing or the entire thing,
the whole entire thing.
Okay,
the entire trial. I would be like, hey, like, come on. I mean, he was reading his closing arguments, reading it to the jury, and then you look at John Meter, and he's, telling a story, and he's telling the truth. But I had a lot of fun watching this with you. You are awesome. I hope you and your daughter enjoy your new digs.
Appreciate it.
And oh, you're hilarious. Seriously, you crack me up. So,
I'm glad.
And I love all of your followers too. Everyone is so awesome. I loved all the comments. So
thank you.
And keep us updated. I hope you cover some more.
We're gonna figure out the next thing for sure. Yeah, we'll figure it out. What the next thing is, I have no idea yet. Once I'm settled into the next place, the plan I think is just I'm gonna, I'll move, settle, start doing regular content like before, and we'll start looking for the next thing that we want to cover.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I wouldn't be well, I know you guys say that he's going to do well in jail, but
what do you think?
I wouldn't be surprised if he does something to himself. No, I really think that he thought he was going to get away with it, and I think he's shocked and stunned, and I don't think he wants to be in there. So, I mean, of course, I'm not. You never know.
Right.
And I do feel bad for Buster too. I do, but the whole thing, it's just a sad situation. It's not a happy situation at all, but like, you put yourself there, buddy. You did it. We didn't have to be here. And he didn't need to make all of those choices. And I'm not talking about just about the murders. He had every opportunity to have a lot of success and not steal from people.
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
Well, sorry, I can keep going on, but I'll let you go.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for calling. Yeah, and thank you for sharing your thoughts and all the support. And I'll keep you guys posted, yeah.
Thank you so much.
All righty.
Okay.
Bye.
Good luck with the move.
Thank you. Bye. All right. Amazing. I think we're done with the calls. I think we should keep it like this. Nice. I'll just get the super chats and then I think we'll call it, so I can actually do a couple of things in preparation, because I wanted to go make a trip to the new place before I pick up baby girl. Let's see. I want to make sure I don't miss these super chats. Okay, Gator Girl, thank you for becoming a member. It says thanks for the coverage. Glad to be a member. Thanks. Thank you. I'm gonna try to do something for the members video. I haven't done one in a while. I want to share something too. I kind of want to wait till I move to do it. Like over this weekend would be best. But thank you for that, Angela. Thank you for the super chat. Very nice of you. All the best for you and Maddie as you settle into your new home. Much love. Thank you. If you check my story, it was kind of funny because I took Maddie to the new place the other day, and she's like, because I was like wiping some stuff down. My mother was there because I was showing her the place, and Maddie, she wanted to like grab the Lysol wipe too and start helping out. So she's like wiping down the fridge and stuff. It was so funny. And she thought the place was gonna come fully furnished because when we saw like a model apartment, and so when I took her to the empty one, she's like, "Where's my stuff? Like, where's everything at? Where's the bed?" I'm like, "It's coming. You gotta wait." So thank you, Angela. Janie, thank you for the super chat. Says Tan is the new Murdaugh. Jen, thanks for the super chat. Says thanks for the coverage, Mel. What trial is next? Cannot wait for the Idaho 4 next year. Definitely whenever the Idaho thing happens. Who knows? I mean, they say in June, but like I'm sure, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. So yeah, but definitely we'll keep an eye on that. I have no idea what's the next thing. I was trying to see for Maricela Botello. That whole situation is a mess. Once I move and I'm settled, I'm gonna take a look and see what's going on with that. And also, the suitcase trial, which I don't think that one should take too long. I don't want to say too much because we thought this was gonna be 3 weeks or whatever. The suitcase one is one that I've been wanting to do for a while. It's just been pushed back multiple times. If you don't know the suitcase story, basically this woman convinced her boyfriend or guy, whatever, to get into a suitcase. And so he gets in there, she closes it and doesn't let him out. He dies in there and suffocates. She goes upstairs and goes to sleep. The next day or morning or whatever, she calls police and like she says they were just playing a game and that it was like an accident or something. And during the interrogation, they were questioning her and she's like, I don't know what happened and blah, blah, blah. They've pulled out a video that was on her phone. I guess she forgot she recorded it or whatever. And she was talking shit to the guy while he was saying, please let me out. You literally see him in the suitcase saying, let me out. And she's like taunting him and saying all kinds of shit and then leaves him there to die. So maybe that, but we'll see. Dylan Cross Finance, thank you for the super chat. I'm with you, Mel. I know he's guilty as hell, but I felt bad for him for some reason. Unlike any other killer, he had everything and threw it all away. Isn't that crazy how you could just and yeah, he threw it away. His family, and not only that, the legacy. Like the legacy dies there. That's it. Tracy, email 2 links of judge during Uber trial. Okay, thank you. Play for you. Thank you for the super chat. Says thank you, Mel, for all you did / do for us. My hubby is doing much. Oh, I'm glad. Yeah, you said it yesterday. The ambulance, right? My hubby is doing much better after a major scare and an overnight stay in the hospital. He's home now resting. Thank all of you for your prayers. Yeah, tell him I said hi. Hope that he feels better and tell him, we send love and best wishes to him from me and from the chat. And just take it easy and rest. AJ Vintage, thank you for the super chat. Says thank you for your humor and great insights, Mel, and best of luck on your move. Thank you. Sam says thank you, Mel. And chat mods, hugs all around. Sally, thank you for the bits on Twitch. Husky, thank you for your coverage, Mel. Best of luck to you in your new oh Lord. In your new place. Thank you. Amethyst, thank you for the super chat and thank you for writing me the whole trial. HWOJ, thank you for the super chat. Chrissy, we need to catch up. Love you, Mel. Chat and mods, we made it. We survived the Murdaugh trial. Sigh, I'll miss the daily meeting. Happy to be part of the Bloop group. Yeah, it's interesting how I enjoyed it. It was, I'm glad we're at the end. It was a hell of a ride. There were times where I was like, when is this thing gonna be over? I'm just like, but I'm pretty satisfied in doing it. Linda, thank you for the super chat. Says thanks, Mel, for following this trial. You did a good job. Good luck with you on your move. Thank you so much, Linda. And Jory, thanks for the super chat as well. We're caught up. I want to head out. There's 2 links. I don't know, see how long these videos are. Tracy sent me this. They're short videos. We can take a look at this real quick, I think. So this is Judge Newman, and this is the Nathaniel Rowland. Convicted of killing Samantha, Josephine abruptly stopped Rowland's mother when she claimed her son was innocent. Ooh, hold on 1 second. Daniel. The name sounds familiar for some. I don't remember what this guy did. Nathaniel Rowland used childproof locks to prevent Josephine from leaving the vehicle and kidnapped her and murdered her, leaving her body in hold on. In New Zion, South Carolina. Oh, wow. Oh, is this that's the Uber thing. Okay, you did say that Uber thing. Wow. Okay.
If you would hear from Nathaniel Rowland's mother first.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state have accused our son of a crime that he didn't commit.
Ma'am, I'm not going to hear any claim of innocence.
Okay.
He's been convicted by the jury.
Okay. He's a very caring young man. This is a young man who went through high school, college, played ball, active in his church, never had anything against him. Now I know as a mother, and a mother knows her child, I know my son didn't do this.
Denial, I guess?
I know.
I haven't followed this case.
Sir.
Oh, no, he did it! Yo, how do you know that? This judge is off the chain. What?
Hold knows her child.
Oh, shit.
I know my son didn't do this. I know.
How do you know that?
Sir.
How do you know that?
By the way I raised him.
Pardon?
By the way I raised him. And when you're a mother, and you're a truly good mother, and you raise your child in the right way, you would know when that child had done something or did something right or wrong. I can't. And I know he didn't do this.
I'm not going to hear any claim of what he did or didn't do.
Yes,
He's guilty of murder. He's guilty of...
Yeah, is this like the younger one, Newman? How old is this? Is this a couple of years ago? Oh, this is 2 years ago. Damn.
Of kidnapping. He's guilty of possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime. And if you had any testimony that you wanted to give for the jury to consider, the trial was the time to do that. I'm not listening to any claim of what he did not do.
Oh, shit!
You are not a witness.
but he's a loving child. He's a good person, very respected, and respect others.
He was so nice, though.
And I thank the court.
Thank you.
I guess maybe she's in denial. 17.
Every law enforcement officer.
This one's 17 minutes. I don't want to do that one now. 2 minutes. What is this? Okay. Yeah, I'll check out the other ones later. Thank you so much, Tracy. All right, so I got a couple things I'm gonna do and my head out for now. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate riding out with me through this trial. Amor, thank you for the membership. FM at 50, thank you for the membership. Lilac, thank you for the super chat. We've been filling out that calendar you told me to get. So, but yeah, thank you guys so much again, man, for riding out through the trial. I don't know what's gonna be in the future for this case. Sled was talking like they had other plans, like they had some other people they wanted to come after. And I'm kind of curious about cousin Eddie. What's gonna happen with Eddie? And I don't know, is there gonna be an appeal in the future? Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I love you. We'll see what the future brings. It feels weird too, how like it's over. Damn. I'm happy it's over, but it's also like, I don't know. Cousin Eddie's lawyer released a statement last night. Do you know where it is? Diggs says, hello. What? So where's the statement? You guys know? I can try to do a quick Google and see. News Nation, guilty verdict was best outcome. Ooh. Oh, shit. Maybe the saga's not done. Maybe this is just the beginning of the saga. Oh, hell no. Right, we got to end off with the characters. Hell no.
So I want to go now to Amy Zimmercheck. She represents Curtis Eddie Smith, and you might remember he's better known as Cousin Eddie. He was indicted for insurance fraud following the roadside suicide attempt. So, Amy, this is quite a... Well, first, let me get your reaction to A, 3 hours and a verdict, and B, guilty across the board.
I'll tell you, I think that you expressed it most. We don't know what juries are going to do. Last year and a half ago, I tried a 4-week quadruple homicide with an additional attempted murder. It lasted almost 4 weeks. And
they're saying defense speaking at 11:45, according to chat. Can we find a link for that? Should we just stay until then and then we leave? Statement by defense 11:45. I mean, we could wait. Mel's retiring.
And the jury was out for an hour and a half. So what I've learned is that jurors are going to do what they're going to do. I think that once they make their mind up, and in my opinion, I think they made their mind up with the kennel video. That's something that you just cannot get past.
I think you're right. I think that was the most troubling part of this case for the defense, was the fact that he was on tape and he lied from the get-go about being at the... Why would you? If you were so concerned about finding the killer of your wife and child, why would you lie right away and then keep the lie going? I get it. If you're scared and you think, well, I don't want them to think it's me, but he's a lawyer. He knows better. I get you. So here's the other big question, and I don't know if you can answer this. But your client was so bundled up in all of this, right? And now we know that Alex Murdaugh is an admitted liar. And the suggestion from the prosecution was that the roadside shooting that your client's now been bundled into was not what Alec admitted to, an insurance scam to get $10 million and have Eddie kill him. The prosecution instead said, no. This was supposed to look like you were being shot at. You were supposed to survive. And the whole world would think there are a bunch of murderers out trying to find Murdaughs to pick off. What does this verdict do for Eddie? Now that it's kind of clear the prosecutors prevailed with their theory of what happened at the roadside. And then
I know. I didn't think about that. That maybe affects that too, that whole situation.
it wasn't an insurance scam.
So I think, honestly, this is the best outcome for Eddie. I'll tell you, Creighton said it, I think in his press conference. He said, the jury saw past his one last scam. I've maintained, and I think in hindsight, Eddie is able to maintain, the same thing. When Alec called him out to the roadside that day, and people always say, oh, he was paid. He wasn't paid. He was, doing what he always did, being manipulated by Alec. And I think that Alec fully intended to shoot Eddie on the side of the road and make him the killer, and all of these problems would have gone away. I don't ever think that it wasn't intentional. He was supposed to survive situation. I absolutely think that if Alec had the way that he wanted it to go, he would have killed Eddie, blamed Eddie for everything.
Okay, so I found the link. Law enforcement attorneys hold press conference. Oh, no, that was the other thing. So I do see on Twitter they're saying, like you guys were saying in the chat, they're saying it as well. 11:45 Murdaugh defense team press conference. So we'll hang out, I guess, and see. I was ready to go, but might as well wait, I guess.
And walked away scot-free.
When does Eddie next have an appearance? When are we going to see some movement in his case?
So hilariously, I I texted Creighton and John both right after the verdict, and I said, "Way to go, guys! See you in court at 10:30 for my bond hearing." A little off the cuff because clearly they're not going to do my bond hearing tomorrow at 10:30. But I think that this does change the landscape. I think that the more that the prosecution was able to really look at the way that Alec had manipulated people and the lies that he had told, I think that it's gonna make a real difficult trail to try to go forward on the roadside shootings. Now there are some other cases that he has to deal with, but I think that this really is a game changer for Eddie. And as a defense attorney, it's hard to be glad when people are convicted, but as a constitutional
But for you,
defending-
it works out pretty well. I can see that. Keep us posted, Amy.
Yes.
Honestly, I'm fascinated to find out what happens in that, because this is another little piece of the puzzle that needs to be tied up.
Okay.
And Andrew Whitaker, he's a photo.
All right, so we'll play this.
Has been reached, and that now life here in this very small, quaint southern town can get back to normal at a much slower pace, I imagine.
Well, Gigi, I know that you have to get back into that courtroom soon as get ready for that press conference, actually, that the defense is having. So I'm going to let you go. But I do want our viewers now to take a look once again at that sentencing from this morning. Take a listen. No matter how you look at it, a very powerful sentencing for Alec Murdaugh this morning. The defense is expected to have their press conference in just a few moments down in South Carolina.
So we're
going to have that for you, but we are going to take a quick break here on Law and Crime.
Okay.
Stay with us. Much more to cover.
So we'll wait. We got what do we do for? Was it 15 minutes? It's never over. It's never over. We're taking like a 5-minute break. Man, what a turnout, bro. What a turnout. Mm-hmm. All right. So, all right, let me put a little message here at the bottom. Press conference. Defense. And I've been kind of wanting to hear from them what they have to say. Defense press conference. Okay. I'd like to find a feed. Yeah, they live. I'm gonna leave it here. If anything, I feel like these people would probably have it. Press conference. Maybe update the title too. All right, so just bear with me. I gotta I'm doing this thing. I'm doing something in my emails. I have to go through a couple of dates these people requested me to do. I'm kind of multitasking. Amazing.
We are following the Murdaugh family murder trial, and that has officially wrapped up this morning with a life sentence handed down to Alec Murdaugh by Judge Clifton Newman. The disgraced former attorney was found guilty of murdering his wife Maggie and son Paul on June 7th of 2021, as that verdict came down last night. Throughout the trial, we had several expert witnesses with differing opinions. For example here, defense witness and forensic engineer Mike Sutton testified to the height he believed the shooter to be. Take a listen.
So position me as that shooter would be. I'm trying to figure out where, how would they hold the gun up here, down here, where?
And then you want to push it down on the hip. Your wrist will have to bend.
This wrist?
Right.
Like this?
Yeah, and you obviously you could crouch in some sort of a shooter stance, but that's
not much lower than this.
That's going to be variable, yes.
Okay, and as I approach the quail pen, the gun has to go up.
It stays the same angle, right? But for different height people, the gun has to get higher and higher, right? Like that.
And if I go backwards, it's got to get lower and lower.
Right, because if you walked up to the quail pen, the hole's 50 inches above the ground, which is right here.
So I'd have to be like
slightly
that.
Down, right?
Like this?
For your height, right? About
No,
a little bit lower. No, about like that.
At the quail pen.
At the quail pen. So you can see, if you back up, you have to get lower and lower and lower. Not like, but the gun has to stay the same angle.
Oh, so it's got to be up, but I go down.
You go down.
Or get short.
To put the barrel on that green line.
So, if I'm 6'4", and you measured Alex's to knee,
right?
So where would this gun be placed on me if I'm 6'4"?
Well, if you're 6'4", you know, your hip is going to be about 46 inches, which will be about right here.
Okay.
It's 46.
Right.
And so you've got your trigger hand
right
about where your hip is. So it would have to be, your trigger hand is going to have to be up where I'm pinching the tape measure.
And this is how far away from the quail pen?
Well, it could be anywhere, but if you raise it some more, a little bit lower, right? So then, if you're at the quail pen, the hole is right here, right? Even if you shoot from the hip.
You have to shoot like that?
Yeah, you'd have to shoot lower.
If I'm back where you say the lines converge, I think it has to be pretty low, right?
Yes, it has to be very low. That's why it's to get a position that would be either shooting or aiming,
right?
Or a basic shooting position. You need to be shorter. If you're bending over in some other body position, that may be maybe somewhat of an awkward shooting position, then you can be taller, right? You can be taller than 5'2" or 5'4".
But his, I think you told us his foot to knee was 25 inches.
25 inches.
And would it be, I mean, proportionally for me, where would
Proportionally for you, your trigger hand is going to have to be back down where your kneecap is.
Right about here?
About like that, right? And then point upwards 3 degrees. That would be the equivalent of somebody who's 6'4" in the area where the 2 shot lines cross, shooting into the quail pen. They would be holding the gun like that if they were on their feet.
Okay, thank you. Please take a stand. Based on the angles and the basically trigonometry is what you're saying, you say the shooter would have been between 5'2" and 5'4", and back to have the ejected shells in the appropriate place. You mark that place on this sketch where these two folks are. That's sort of the range.
Yes, and you can see some of the ejected shells, but they're right beside the body,
right,
just off where I've got the yellow sticky.
Okay.
That is the area where you have, I believe, 2, 3, and 4. So 3 empty, 300 blackout cases.
Okay. And that would be consistent with the position of the shooters in this position, and based on the angle of the bird cage, they would be somewhere between 5'2" and 5'4".
That is correct.
To have a shot from the hip, the lower part, I mean, almost crouched down head.
Yes.
So my legal panel of Rich Schoenstein and Matt Mangino are back with me. So looking back here, the defense put forward the idea that it would be unlikely that Murdaugh could be the shooter because of his height. Was this all a stretch, Rich?
I think it was a little bit of a stretch. I mean, the prosecution sort of made fun of it through the trial, but at the end of the day, I don't think it mattered. All of this expert testimony, neither side had a convincing advantage in the experts. The prosecution had a little bit of an advantage because their experts did more work with the actual crime scene. But when Alec Murdaugh took the stand for a day and a half, this case turned into a case about his credibility. Unless there was a conclusive expert on one side or another, the jury wasn't going to focus on that. And I don't think their 2-hour and 50-minute deliberations that the jury thought a lot about the expert testimony.
Well, definitely all eyes were on Alec Murdaugh when he did take the stand. But meanwhile, the state brought on a crime scene investigator, that's Dr. Kenneth Kinsey, and he completely disagreed with that line of questioning that we just saw. Let's listen to that and we'll discuss it.
From what you've observed in this crime scene, was Maggie moving at the time she was shot?
This was a very dynamic crime scene. I believe everything was moving. The victims and the suspect were moving.
And how do you know that?
Well, suspect would be the different firearms evidence, the cartridge cases. Like I said, there's no absolute. They're not going to throw them the exact same spot, but they will throw them in a similar direction. We've got cartridge cases in a pretty nice sized perimeter. We've got them at different locations from where Miss Maggie Murdaugh's body, the final resting place, and different angles and different positions in different directions. So that tells you it's very fluid and it's very dynamic.
So if I'm holding a gun and I'm moving and shooting, what is happening with those shell cases as I move?
They are moving as they're ejected.
Where was Maggie's head pointing when she hit the ground?
Miss Maggie Murdaugh's head was pointed in the direction of Paul Murdaugh, where his body rested, back toward the feed room.
What is your opinion of the defense's expert that says the shooter could not have been 6 feet 4 inches tall like the defendant Alec Murdaugh?
I think that's a flawed opinion.
Could it have been a 6'4" person?
It could have been a 5'4", 6'4", or in my opinion, a 7'4", as I just demonstrated.
Hey, Matt, Matt, well, we know that the state experts must have gotten through more to the jury because now we know the outcome. But with under 3 hours of deliberations, how long do you think the jurors even spent discussing expert testimony?
Well, the time of the deliberation was really extraordinary. I mean, this was a case that lasted weeks and weeks, many witnesses, and the jurors were back in 2 hours and 50 minutes. That doesn't even give them enough time to discuss just the experts or just
we're tired of it.
Really Alec Murdaugh's testimony himself. So I would assume they went around the table. There were a significant majority of jurors who had no question about his guilt. Maybe a couple who had some questions. They talked about those briefly, and boom, you have a verdict. I thought it was extraordinary that these 12 jurors would make a decision on such a significant case in such a short period of time. What it tells me is that there was little doubt
I spilled the damn
among
Celsius on
a
myself
significant majority of the jurors on the very first tally
Okay.
they took, sitting around the table in the jury holding room.
Well, I know Rich Schoenstein likes to gloat on this show sometimes, and I am outright saying that he's right. I mean, at the end of the day, Rich, it wasn't about any of this testimony. The jurors, one of them kept coming out to say
last night,
he was a liar, he wasn't good enough. It was about Alec Murdaugh, what he said on the stand.
First of all, I never gloat. Let's just get that straight. But yeah, it was about Alec Murdaugh. It was about his credibility. And you know what? It raises a lot of interesting ideas, right? If he hadn't talked to law enforcement at all, it would have been a different trial. If he had not made up things about his travels that night, it would have been a different trial because there was time he was gone where possibly someone else could have committed the murder. But having found out that he lied about where he was before the murder and he lied about the trip after. Don't forget, he said he went to his mom's for 45 minutes. He raced there back and forth at 80 miles an hour and visited for 20. So he lied about before, he lied about after, and that was too much for this jury to take, and they swiftly came to a verdict.
Well, he has a lot of time now to think about whether he really should have taken that stand and how much damage that did for him. All right, we're going to take a quick break, but please don't go anywhere because remember, the defense press conference is expected to happen any moment now, and we're going to send it out to South Carolina when it does. We're going to take a break. We're going to hopefully...
Yeah, we're still waiting. I don't know when this presser is coming. I'm assuming once it pops up, they'll... Let me check out that one station last night that did the other press conference here, Fox 9. I'll keep them up just in case. Riding out. Hello? Hold on, let's see. Okay. It's a live link here. What's up with you? What's a live link? Okay, gangsta pimpin'. I know. Please. I mean, it doesn't matter. I guess. No, I'm gonna check it out. I'm a mother, I'm a child, I'm a lover, I'm a sinner of a saint. I do not feel ashamed. What all that noise? Like this? Damn. Too loud. What is just wind? I guess it'll take what we can get. Press conference time. Press conference. just about to text you. Monster. You're about to do it. Oh, I can't wait to get done with the headphones too. I might switch it. I don't know if I'm gonna even switch it today. I might just wait for the new place. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. It's so loud, right? Ain't it? I should just mute it for now. We'll wait. Meredith Brooks. I used to listen to that song growing up. Oh, the other song, I just want to have fun. Till the sun comes up and the stand up and up, that's when I'm the bong, bong, bong. Tizzy. What's this press release? Okay. Thanks, Carly. Mm. Mm. Cousin Eddie must be smiling in prison. Greasy was smiling. Probably sipping on some, what do they call it over there in jail? Hooch? The homemade liquor and stuff? Hoochie? Hooch? Or popping a bottle over there.
Yes, I told these motherfuckers. And believe me, I said I wouldn't miss the motherfucker if I was trying to kill him. I told these bitches. I told him. Joke's on you, motherfucker. Payback's a bitch.
Curtis Eddie Smith, to members of the media. In response to numerous press inquiries concerning our client and various statements made by the counsel of Alex Murdaugh during the trial of the state of South Carolina, South Carolina versus Alex Murdaugh, the undersigned attorneys for Mr. Smith hereby submit the following statement to the public. It should now be clear that our client had nothing to do with the tragic deaths of Maggie and Paul Murdaugh. For almost a year and a half, speculation, innuendo, half-truths, and outright falsehoods have permeated the public discussion of this case and of our client. However, neither the investigation conducted by law enforcement SLED, which included extensive forensic and technological analysis, nor the evidence and testimony put forth by the defense team for Mr. Murdaugh revealed any evidence that Mr. Smith was involved in any way. There has been extensive discussion and press interest into the reason why Mr. Smith was not called as a witness by the state. And though we in no way speak for the prosecuting attorneys with the Attorney General's office, to us, the reason for not calling Mr. Smith is quite simple. He had no knowledge of anything relating to the horrific events. Furthermore, despite months of filings and courtroom statements seeming to imply that Mr. Smith was either the real killer or knew who was, when the time came to present the evidence, Mr. Murdaugh's defense team never attempted to call Smith. If he's the one, why not call him in? Yeah. Why didn't y'all motherfuckers call him in? Despite the fact that he was available to do so. In fact, when the issue of his testimony being presented by the state was raised, it was strenuously, can't roll the tongue, objected to by the defense. Ooh. Ultimately, the jury determined that Mr. What was that? The hell is it? Ultimately, that Mr. doesn't even really continue here. I don't know what's going on. What the? This is page 1. And then 2 of 2. I guess we'll just continue from there. There has been extensive discussion. Oh, we already read this part. It's quite simple. He was not related to the horrific deaths. Ultimately, the jury determined that Mr. Murdaugh was the sole party responsible for the deaths of his wife and son, and has happened so many times in this case. The initial representations by Mr. Murdaugh have been proven to be unsubstantiated. Mr. Smith is a good and decent man. How dare you look at Cousin Eddie any other way? Despicable. Who was, like so many others, manipulated and taken advantage of by Mr. Murdaugh. And we look forward to the opportunity to present his story at trial. Ooh. Is that the next trial? Eddie Smith. I want to know the story. I want to know the story of Eddie Smith. Boy drinking hooch and shit in jail. Told y'all motherfuckers. They tryna go for me. They're almost 12. They wanna come for me. Alright. I'm gonna turn on the AC. It's freezing in here. Freezing. Whoa. Whoa. I wanna go. All right. Come on, man. It's 10 minutes past now. I'll be here doing all day thing. Pretty right now it's 85 outside. I had it like at 65 in here though. We got too cold. Too cold. Good deal. Is he there, the preacher? I think I hear him. Oh shit, he about to pop off. Duplicitous. I love it.
Sounds like a plan, Drew.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Venus Girl says, I can't imagine what the defense has to say. That would be very interesting. Probably just express their disappointment, intent to appeal. The most out there they will get it. Ooh, here we go. It's the time? Or not yet? The most out there they will get is if they remark on it. Sure. I hope they go hard. This is an atrocity, an injustice. Juliet, thank you for the super chat. Thank you, Mel. You're simply the best. Simply the best. Better than all the rest. Chris B, thank you for the super chat. Says this feels like a mutual breakup on good terms. For reals. Mermaid in the ICU. Thank you for the super chat. Says good luck moving, Mel. You're awesome. Thank you. And Mermaid again in the with the super chat says, Mel, my 4-year-old nephew saying amazing. Diggs. Oh no, not the voices. Brooke, thank you for becoming a member. So I'm just waiting till this, man, and then we get out of here. I think I'll be done for the day after this. They were supposed to be at 11:45. I don't know what's happening. What's taking so long? What is taking so long? That's kind of dope. Oh, that's kind of a dope shirt. I don't know. They're talking about I don't know if people would like this shirt. I like the oxys in the back. Thanks to iCkEdMeL, I survived the Murdaugh trial. I don't know I want just higher quality pills. I don't know if that's just the demo, but we need higher quality pills and guns.
It was definitely interesting. You know,
You think so? Rockin said they're following their appeal. That's what's taking so long. Miss Enigma, thank you for the super chat. Says, I've been up since 2 a.m. Australia time to watch you. Thank you. Love your commentary and the chat. Australia. Foster's, Australian for beer. I heard you guys don't even mess with that beer like that. Like you guys don't F with that beer. Foster's, Australian. T-shirt contest? I don't know. How would that work out? T-shirt. Go play the Oxys. That actually would be funny. Yes, please. Let's go. Come on.
We're fine. We're like 5 minutes out, but I just want to make sure everyone's set up. Are you good? Okay. Are you good? Huh? Great. Are you good? Well, you're going to have the whole team will be up here.
Oh,
so we'll
snap.
go down the line, we'll introduce everybody, and then hand raise and Dick and Jim will call on you.
Dick and Jim. Dick. Gotta bring the Mel Dick up. Dick.
just responded to her. I realized I missed some messages from her.
Oh, you know what? Let me send this to Fresher now. I've been saying I'm gonna send this forever. Fresher, send her all the. Try to send the characters over. Well, hopefully I didn't delete. Oh, I know where I can find them actually. Oh, 5 minutes out, they say. Too many uploads? You can only upload 10 files at a time. Oh, I gotta do it all over again?
Hey, the press conference, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
You might have any plans that he actually gets you back for like a amount of hours?
Hey, bro, you're done anything. We do anything. Are you like rolling on it or not?
Columbia's?
Yeah.
You know, I went earlier this year and I actually.
Fair. Thank you. We don't have any show going on now, right?
It's done well.
No, I heard with the promise here. I saw real life Kelowna. I didn't see the baby though, because the mom was kind of like middle of the presentation. And it was funny, they had the dad and mom separated, and the zookeeper was like telling them that like the dad, anytime he's like close to the mom, just gets fixed.
Were you able to walk with the
What else? What else?
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
just kind of like watching people make sure that they're not messing with the animals.
So last time I was there, they had that clip. And so that's like why I was there.
I like that really that's fun. We went during lunchtime and they like really had like there was
That's good.
It's fun. I like the giraffes. The giraffes are
Giraffes are cool. I'm a big flamingo person.
Flamingos are cool.
My wife has like small field birds.
Okay.
So,
Oh yeah.
I was like 30 minutes.
Already to go. They're trying to keep us all day again. The trial of Drezell and Jacqueline West, adopted parents, is presently expected to begin the week of March 20th. Ooh. I don't know if is that streaming though? March, that's around the corner. I barely have time, huh? Poor boy.
I gotta sit there.
They're really taking the time, huh? Jesus.
I'm gonna squeeze in here though. Sorry.
Good old boys. You don't want to mess with those good old boys.
Okay. Dr. Edward Moskowitz, thanks for the super chat. Says Mel sent you 4 articles on Cousin Eddie. It's in your email. Congratulations on your new place. Thank you. I'll take a look at it sometime. There we go. Sneaky little sneak. Okay.
I wanted to visit Machu Picchu, but I haven't been able to like.
Come on.
Yeah. If by
Oh.
any chance I need to return the card, you said there's a Dropbox, right? Okay, it may happen this weekend. I don't know if I'm not gonna be here. I mean, my last day for sure will be Monday. But it could be tomorrow or something.
Like it felt like I was so close. And it was bright.
Just double check what card that you have on file. The one that is like 83. Okay, perfect. Yes. Thank you very much. Okay.
I didn't know.
I know, you know.
I think they do a good job of preserving it because you don't want to get there really walking and see lots.
Hi. My grandpa used to farm racing and he had some so about an hour north of me. When I say small, I think he had about 25 acres.
Are they like ostriches?
Question. Do you have any big vehicle available for one way? Yeah. No?
I just felt like because I had it on auto, perfect, thank you. Shuttering, like adjust, like getting like read.
big rooms, which is nice, but I don't have a good load.
So like if you're taking photography tonight.
Yeah. I don't know if I told
I
you our
wish
AC
I-
went up.
No.
Yeah. So the last 2 days we're going to go So you go over on the home for us, must be not changed because you need to replace that. So
I know. We had our neighbor across the hall. We're on the second floor, and I don't know if she had like a plate burst or what happened, but her apartment flooded one day, and they were like cleaning out some stuff and had leaked into the apartments below her. And then the next day, when I was leaving to come here, it was early in the morning, there was like water from her apartment, like all the way to our door, and like the door open. There was like 2 inches of water that poured in the entire apartment. Everyone beneath us is like staying somewhere else, and they're throwing all their rugs, and like she's not staying there right now. And I was like, I'm really glad that didn't happen to me in the middle of all of this, but now I'm worried because it happened literally like right across the hall. Like, is that what happened to us? Really good at that.
Brings you here. No, every get up there and talk. Anything to do at this point.
Switching it outside.
I would be anything. Hey, when you go around to different states, does every state have like a cadre of supporters? It's pretty good. I mean, it's sort of typical for you.
Hey, John.
Posing for the best photographer.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I show up about once a week when I have a scoop.
I mean, I don't know if this is like their troll to everybody else, like, we're just gonna make you wait here and shit.
Guys like Avery, Victoria.
There's a lot of girls. To some extent, dating people, and it hasn't felt like there's ever like, and this is so, I don't know, set up. Like everyone has a spot.
Anybody know the food trucks over there? Not barbecue.
There they are. Jesus Christ. We had like celebrities and shit. We said 40 minutes? Somebody said 40 minutes?
Good afternoon, or afternoon. I'm Dick Harpoon. This is Jim Griffin. That's Emily Dale. That's Maggie Fox. That's Holly Miller. This is Phil Barber. We are Alex Murdaugh's defense team. We're able to answer your questions. We're not going to make a statement. I know y'all don't want one.
All that just to not make a statement?
Anybody got a question?
Do you think it was a mistake to put Alex Murdaugh on the stand?
No. Next.
Mr. Harpootlian, why did you object to that juror being dismissed yesterday?
Why didn't I?
Why did you?
Well, for two reasons. One, she admitted she talked to other people about the case, but not specifically. But technically, I think the judge had leeway to excuse her, but she clearly, after we interviewed her back in chambers, in my mind, had not made up her mind. And I thought that was important.
Do you think she would have helped your case?
I don't know. She didn't express an opinion to us. She said she was open. She hadn't made up her mind.
Mr. Harpootlian, the defense has made a great deal of points about SLED and their handling of the investigation. From your position in the Senate, do you feel there's an opportunity to address that from a legislative standpoint?
I think there are significant issues, but I won't be addressing it in the Senate unless it comes up in a bill. I'm not going to mix this role with my role as a senator. I will not do that.
Why do you think that the prosecutor didn't use that candidate? And what do we make of the judge's comments after hearing that he agrees with the jury?
What was the question again? I'm sorry. Well, you know, I'm somebody that's prosecuted and defended a bunch of death penalty cases. And clearly, and you never do it in a circumstantial case, because you're not, 99 times out of 100, the jury's not going to sentence somebody to death. I saw him do it, he confessed, or, you know, great forensic evidence at the minimum. They had none of that here. And secondly, in a death penalty case, it gives us the ability to individually voir dire jurors, which could have been very helpful here. And the prosecution obviously didn't want that. So I don't disagree with, I mean, if I'd been prosecuting this case, probably would have brought it, but based on, you know, what we heard was presented to the Colleton County Grand Jury by Detective Owen and Jim Cross. Blood spatter that didn't exist, testimony about guns that was wrong. I mean, we can go through the litany with you. And going back to this question, I think SLED needs to do some self-examination on the forensic process. They did not. I mean, one of the things we complained about was that Maggie's phone would have had all her GPS data on it. They processed it within 5 days, and because they didn't, GPS data was overwritten. I mean, it was just one, which would have been helpful to Alec, is fingerprints, footprints, and all kinds of forensic things that weren't done. So, what was the second question about the judge? He's entitled to his opinion.
Mr. Harpootlian, can you expect an appeal anytime soon?
10 days will be filed an appeal.
What do you believe the strongest grounds for an appeal are?
What'd you say?
What do you believe the strongest grounds for an appeal are?
It was the admission of all the financial crime evidence. That was offered up, you know, as evidence of motive, that because he was confronted about one financial transaction involving attorney's fees by the chief accountant of the law firm, that was being offered as motive for why he would go home and kill his wife and son, which we thought was illogical and ludicrous. And there really was no evidence linking one to the other, and we did not think it should come in. Not only did that come in, but every other financial misdeed that they could bring in over the last 10 or 15 years was allowed in. And we think that we strongly objected. We were respect the judge's decision, but we believe that was an erroneous decision. And we believe that the judge was somewhat misled because at the conclusion of the case, when Mr. Medders is up on his rebuttal argument in front of the jury, he says to the jury, you just have to prove malice, which is right, but why did they go to all the effort to prove motive when at the end they say, you don't have to believe us on our motive theory, but by then they had cast Alec as a despicable human being, and that was the reason they offered it in the first place. And we think the appellate courts will take a strong look at that. We feel like that is a very solid ground for an appeal, and we're going to pursue that.
Looking back at the last 6 weeks, long trial, would you guys do anything different in the last 6 weeks? How you handled
No.
anything in this trial?
No. I mean, look, once the judge, first of all, we believe if the judge was going to let that stuff in, it should have been limited to the Ferris case, which is what they were asking him about on Monday on the fee. Number two, Tinsley, the person that made the motion to compel to be heard on Thursday, Dawes Cook, Alex's lawyer, both agreed there wasn't going to be any storm or Armageddon or anything that was going to happen that Thursday. The judge might have issued an order. Stuff in, it should have been limited to the Ferris case, which is what they were asking him about on Monday on the fee. Number two, Tinsley,
thanks, Ma,
the person that made the motion to compel to be heard on Thursday, Dawes Cook, Alex's lawyer, both agreed there wasn't going to be any storm or Armageddon or anything that was going to happen that Thursday. The judge might have issued an order, which months down the line might have posed a problem. So once they got that character in it, character information is he's a thief, he's a liar, then it dictated this jury had to think he was a despicable human being and not to be believed. So it was about character, it wasn't about motive. So as a result, our options were limited. Should he take the stand? Well, you know, we debated that. He always wanted to take the stand. But once that information was in, I mean, if he had to take the stand to explain the kennel video, the lie, if you will. He had to, but he had no credibility. His credibility had been stripped away by the financial misdeeds. Yes.
How is Buster doing, and why did he choose not to speak at the sentencing?
We could have had Mother Teresa up there speaking on behalf of Alec at sentencing. I mean, he was getting a double life sentence. That was expected. I mean, this was Judge Newman. He's a very stringent punisher when it comes to crimes and sentences. I mean, that was never in dispute. And so for Buster to get up and speak on his dad's behalf would not have made a difference. And why do you want to put that kid through more trauma than anybody that you can imagine has ever been through?
Have his feelings about his dad changed at all in the trial?
What's that?
Have his feelings about his dad changed at all?
You know, I can't speak to Buster's feelings. I can tell you this. There was a lot of effort by the state to convince the family that Alec is the murderer. The family came to trial every day for 6 weeks, expecting to hear proof positive that he killed Maggie and Paul, something that they had not heard before. After 6 weeks of trial, they came away more convinced that he did not do this, and they steadfastly in his camp and support him, and that's where they stand.
What's next for Alex?
Well, Alex will be leaving shortly to go to Columbia to R&E, it's called, where he'll be at the South Carolina Department of Corrections. He'll be evaluated. That's about a 30-day process, and then he'll be sent to wherever the correctional facility that they assign him to.
So, any special security measures for him?
No, I don't think. Alec was not optimistic that with all of the scrutiny and press and all of his bad acts being out in the public, in the world, media domain, that he could get, a jury to put out all the noise and just focus on the murder. And so coming in, he was somewhat pessimistic. He became optimistic as we got through the process, but I got to tell you, and all you reporters, you know the whole story, I'm sure. And if you're sitting on that jury, they heard everything that would be in an HBO documentary, a Netflix documentary about the Murdaugh family dynasty downfall, except the Stephen Smith matter. I mean, so we were hoping to get a jury to put all, that could ignore the noise, focus on the murder, and we ended up trying a case that they could have watched on Netflix.
Does your legal team have any regrets about the way that you guys performed in this trial? Do you feel like you did? Do you feel like you were outmatched in closing arguments?
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, not outmatched. I mean, look, they won this case the day the judge bought into letting them put every piece of, stealing from kids who lost their mother, from somebody with pancreatic cancer, somebody that's a paraplegic. I mean, all of that 2.5 weeks, by the time they got done with it, it didn't matter about final argument. It didn't matter about what we put up. They would never, ever, ever acquit him after that. Last question.
What your grounds for appeal will be? You said it's going to be 10 days. Can you lay out your plea arguments on that?
We'll file something not in 10 days, but we'll file a notice of intention to appeal. Then we've got 30 days, I think, to file a brief.
Yeah, so you file the notice within 10 days. You got to get a transcript.
Oh, that'll take a while.
That'll take months before they type up everything, and then we start briefing.
Are you all going to handle the appeal?
Yes.
And argue it in the Court of Appeals with the Supreme Court?
And the U.S. Supreme Court.
And the U.S. Supreme Court, if necessary. That's correct.
What's the federal issue involved?
Doyle.
Oh, there's a huge federal issue. That's why I got so animated, and the judge told me to sit down. And part of the trial is the state eliciting or asking questions of Alec about why he did not come forward and tell law enforcement where he was at the time of the kennel video. And that was after he was arrested, and there's U.S. Supreme Court cases are clear that post-arrest silence cannot be used against you. And that is a classic violation of the Fifth Amendment. And we feel strongly that if we lose at the state courts, we'll have success at the federal court.
Can you tell us about the plea negotiations before trial?
No.
There were no plea negotiations.
There weren't any.
They never offered him anything.
What effort are you making to find the real killer, or what effort is he making?
Not our job to find the real killer. If they had taken fingerprints, if they'd gotten footprints, if they hadn't if they'd preserved Maggie's phone with her GPS, if they had not, they misrepresented to the grand jury that they had a shirt with his blood on it. If Owen had opened his email, he says he didn't get, we'd have told him a year before there was no human blood on that T-shirt. It was a comedy of errors in terms of forensics on this. So, do I have faith that they would find the real killer? No. We don't know. What? Last question. Say that one more time.
Did you support putting Alec Murdaugh on the stand?
There was no choice.
Why?
Because he had been made out to be a monster who stole from children and crippled people, and that's not a politically correct word. I'm sorry, I'm an old guy. Crippled people who had just done horrible, despicable things, and he had to try to push back on that. And if he'd left that way without taking the stand, he was toast. Taking the stand, could he pull it off? Apparently did.
In hindsight, do you regret not asking for a change of venue in this case?
Not really, because we checked. We did focus groups in this case in a county way far away from here. 8 of the 10 people on the 2 focus groups knew all about this case. There was nowhere you could go that you could find. We believe you could find a jury that didn't know, hadn't watched TV, hadn't read the stuff you write or the stuff the Twitter stuff. And by the way, one of the good pieces of information now that this trial is over, Griffin can start tweeting again.
That's right.
All right, thank you guys. Thank you.
All right, those comments right there made by the defense team for Alec Murdaugh. He did get found guilty, the jury convicting him just yesterday on those counts of murder for the murders of his wife and son back in 2021. This morning, we learned that the judge had sentenced him to life in prison without the possibility of parole. We did once again just hear from the defense team here. They held kind of a fairly brief news conference to answer some questions from the media there. They say they do have plans to appeal, no surprise there, but they'll do it within the next 10 days. They also say that Murdaugh will be sent for a 30-day evaluation and then will go to whatever correctional facility they plan to send him to. They are still
All right, yeah, I'm gonna get out of here, man. I'm just done, bro. I got a couple things to do and get to moving. Kristen, thank you so much for the 14-month membership. Thanks for always being amazing. Sunny, California, thanks, Mel, for the first time I watched a whole trial ever. Learned a lot, and you are amazing. Thank you. Thank you. I love you guys. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you so much for riding with me. And I'll keep you guys posted.